Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the BXR Podcast. Today we got all the fun people. We've brought the other half of Rocket Sloth, Elijah himself, to join us, so that's pretty exciting. Obviously, we still have Luke in Pop Q. Jared's out celebrating his anniversary, so actually you can't blame him for that. Respect, sometimes things are slightly more important than our podcast. And Kevin, he's living his life to the fullest. So yeah, this will be a fun episode. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. A little bit less heavy on gaming topics, just because there hasn't been any big games or anything that have really released in the past couple of weeks, other than we were to talk more about Final Fantasy. But Jared's not here, so you're out of luck. No more Final Fantasy talk. But yeah, I figured first thing we'd kind of dive into is talk a little bit about Rocket Sloth, because we got the full crew here, and so I know a little bit of the story. We've done some podcasts in the past, but I figured we'd
when the frog attacked me.
when the frog attacked you, that was classic. But yeah, I figured that
was on your podcast back in the day, right?
I think was that on mine or was that one on yours? I don't remember.
I don't know. It was on yours.
Shit.
It was yours.
Well, there you go.
Did I hear that right? You got attacked by a frog
he
during
did.
a podcast?
Yeah.
Well, I think you're the only one who could say that, honestly. Jeez.
Yeah, it's true.
Was it a poison dart frog?
Dude, I don't know. It was like a frog-looking frog.
It almost got him too, dude. He was almost out for the count. But yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
I figured we don't have to start all the way from the start of your channel. But why don't we talk about kind of what's going on with Rocket Sloth? Maybe we'll say, since Infinite came out, kind of how's Rocket Sloth doing in the past couple years? Either of you can take that and run.
We get some self promo right out of the gate. Look at that.
There you go.
Check out our channel.
Yeah, check out our channel. No, it's been okay. It's been a bit of a ride since Halo Infinite came out. Before Halo Infinite's was getting ready to release, we weren't really Halo YouTubers. We were kind of doing all types of games, but we did Halo content, and we had a large Halo following, and then we're gonna lean into it until Halo Infinite released, and then they delayed Halo Infinite a year. So then we're like, well, what do we do? Do we keep riding it out and making Halo content for this new audience that we have? So we did. We kind of did it for a whole nother year, and it kind of established us as Halo content creators. And then after Halo Infinite came out, Halo Infinite's release was really good. And then after Halo Infinite, I think a lot of Halo content creators went through that phase where I think there was just a lot of burnout in the Halo community, and everyone kind of viewership tanked pretty heavily. Fortunately, our channel was mostly able to survive through all that, which we're really lucky about. But yeah, I think Luke and I are both pretty ready to move back on to more than just Halo, though. I think a lot of people in the Halo community feel that way. There's other games out there.
Also, we switched to Halo, but we didn't stop playing other games or following other gaming news, or you know what I mean?
Right.
So
We've always played more than just Halo.
Yeah.
For sure. Would you say you kind of regret spending a year kind of building that Halo fan base, or was it worth it?
I don't think I have a regret.
Yeah,
I think I think the whole. I just think it ran its course. It went really well. It paid off. We were able, like I said, because of that Halo fan base that watched us and our audience is supportive, we're able to be one of the few channels that survived kind of that really bad time for Halo. But I think like we said, a lot of the Halo fan base across the board is just ready to do more than just Halo. I think people are tired of waiting to see what 343 does next, because it's not going to be enough. So I don't know.
And that's a little bit also, we've done a lot of the big videos we wanted to do.
Yeah.
So there isn't much more to do.
Yeah, we could run Halo into the ground if we wanted to. We could still come up with years of content, but I don't know if that'd be creatively fulfilling for us, or
Yeah.
I don't know. We'd really burn out real hard. If we
But
did
we had our big thing where we built up for a year or two, where we 100% did MCC,
that. Right.
and that kind of we had that done before Infinite came out. So you
Yeah,
know,
like,
and there was
right
like
after it's come out.
a big, like long series of projects we did, or you know, of videos with the same goal. So yeah, when that
Yeah.
kind of ended, you know, that was like kind of the big one.
Yeah, that's fair. So I gotta ask the question: when was the last time each of you played Halo Infinite?
Couldn't tell you.
Um,
I love it.
I played a little bit when Forged came out. I was messing around with Forged mode.
In December of like last year.
Yeah.
When
And
did season 2 come out?
was that Forged?
No,
I don't
season 2
remember.
wasn't Forge. Forge was the winter update.
I remember. Yeah. Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
Forge
so
was the winter.
I did some Forge, and I was actually working on this really cool remake of a Facility from GoldenEye.
Sure.
Like I had all the stuff blocked out, and I spent like 2 days just blocking it out, and then I was like gonna go into the part I was most excited about, which was like designing it, and my save got corrupted and I lost it, and I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm done with this, and I kind of just put it down after that. And I was just like, I'm not gonna go through that again. And then I think I had to get footage for something, and Luke was gone, and I loaded up on the cloud, like the Xbox cloud, because I didn't want to install it and take
Oh
up space.
my god.
And the servers weren't working. Like I couldn't connect, so I had our editor go and do it instead. Our other editor.
Oh, we did do a Halo Infinite shoot.
We did do Halo Infinite no shoot.
That was more recent. Yeah.
That was like 2 months ago. I guess that was campaign.
No. It was April, I think. Right?
3 months ago.
Yeah.
4 months ago, something like that.
Yeah, but you blocked that out of your memory.
And we like went
I
through
mean-
it so quick. We did it in like a night and a half. Like,
But I guess what Elijah was answering, the last time we played Infinite, not for content, was probably
Yeah.
when Elijah was saying, or like I don't know. I remember playing season 2 with you, but I don't know when that launched.
That was like literally a year ago because I remember playing that when we got back from Kansas City.
Oh.
We went to
Lucky.
Kansas City and we came back and season 2 was out. And I remember like because I had the day off, you hopped on and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play for a bit and I might stream or something. You played like 3 games and you're like, I think I'm gonna get off. Then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna at least put a night into season 2 before I give up. But
Hey,
to
I
be-
still have that footage, and I still use it when I need to have Halo Infinite multiplayer footage on the screen. So
that's
it
fair.
was a huge investment.
I definitely think I crutch Halo too hard on my channel sometimes. Usually, like when I can't come up with a good video, I just make a Halo video, and overall it's probably not beneficial. But
I get that.
yeah, so I guess
We're trying to avoid doing that right now. Like that's where we're at right now because we're trying to do a pivot, and like we've tried in the past, and like we just always fall back into Halo because Halo's kind of just like a comfort food type video. You know what I mean?
it's hard because like when you're in, and I know you were saying like you guys weren't necessarily like Halo creators, but when you make a ton of videos on one game, it is easier to come up with topics for that game because you know
Right.
it so well. And there's like, sure, you might have to do research or something like that, but you already have like that knowledge base where either you can come up with an idea easier or the research is easier because you know where to look. But if you're diving into totally new games or totally new topics, like usually the prep for a video alone is so much more. And so that sometimes I'm like, oh, like I have this like good idea. I'm like, I could do all this stuff, or I could just fucking ramble into my microphone for 20 minutes about Halo 3 again for the 30th time. and then out comes the Halo 3 video, you know?
Right.
But
No, it's true. It's true.
no, and it's hard too because like they're like short term when you're trying to full pivot. Usually, I feel like you take a hit in views, and you can always be like, oh fuck, like if I would have just put out a Halo video, it would have done this, right? But like the ceiling for Halo is so low these days with where the franchise is at that like if you can break out and branch out into other things, like you can actually see videos that like get way higher view counts, but it'll also probably be harder because you're competing against like a lot of bigger creators and like more varied creators where like the Halo YouTube scene is so small. I mean, and it's even smaller now because like a lot of the people that were making content at the start of Infinite have already quit. Like some of the big channels that got big or like grew off of Infinite have already completely moved on. So it's like
Right.
when you branch out into big boy YouTube, it's a whole different game. Like some of the things that you can get away with doing and like half-assing in Halo YouTube, I feel like they just don't fly in other games or in other like topics and stuff. So it's definitely a lot harder. But I know you guys. I mean, obviously we're friends, so I kind of follow what you guys do. But you guys have tried all sorts of different things. You have a Sonic channel. So to talk a little bit about like some of the different things that you guys have tried. Obviously now you're putting a little bit more effort, I think, into not only branching out other channels, but also branching out your main channel. But like talk a little bit about some of your other ventures, and then we'll talk about your main channel too. But because I know you got the Sonic channel, the Animal Crossing channel. What's all out there?
Well, I would say mostly like the only real established channel that we have is probably the Animal Crossing channel. The Sonic channel, we put other content besides just Sonic. It's more just like a testing ground we have to try to feel out like what type of content in other fields we like. And we did a Sonic video that did really well, so we kind of did a couple more to just kind of feel that out, and we got to probably put some more content out on there soon. But the other channel is just called Rocket Elijah. It was our second channel for a long time. We tried other things with that channel when we started it out too, just to kind of feel things out. But I'm a big Animal Crossing fan, been since I was a kid. And I was like, Animal Crossing, I noticed like there's not a lot of content creators in that field, but the game is hugely successful. Like people actually don't realize how big Animal Crossing is. Like on the Nintendo Switch, it's the second best-selling game. Just under Mario Kart, has like 47 million copies sold. So there's a huge demand for that, and I've liked it. So like maybe like 9 months ago, I was like, I'm just gonna get some content together, and I was gonna wait until a new game got announced and try to ride that. But I was like, maybe I'll just establish something before a new game gets announced, and then when the new game gets announced, I'll already have an audience. It'll be easier to break in, and then just try to grow from there. And I had like 3 videos ready to go day one when I started the Animal Crossing stuff and put them all out. And the algorithm like cross-recommended the 3 videos, and I had like just a ton of growth right away. So yeah, Luke and I have been kind of working on that, and that channel has like 35,000 subscribers already. And so that's been nice to have kind of a little extra source of income besides Rocket Sloth, since it gives us kind of a little bit of a cushion to try to pivot Rocket Sloth a bit more. And with Rocket Sloth, we don't know exactly which direction we want to take it in, so we're trying a lot of different things. But like, we know our audience, like we know like they're Halo fans, so we're trying to make content right now, at least from the perspective of like other things that people in that age demographic, people who grew up with an Xbox, would still understand. So we did like a video on like canceled Saints Row games, which were Saints Row was really big during like 2006 to 2014. Kind of overlapping a lot of the Halo times and stuff, and we did a lot of stuff on like Xbox. We just did a video on Xbox controversies, Xbox launch titles, and stuff like that. It's been going pretty well too. Our Saints Row video was our first video to blow up that wasn't Halo though, so we're happy about that, or start to blow up.
More recently,
yeah, I saw that one did pretty decently. Well,
Yeah,
cool. So what? Obviously, like the idea of kind of breaking out of a gaming niche is, I feel like it comes up all the time. Like people talk about it all the time because it is pretty hard to kind of rebrand a channel that has such an established audience. So for like all those people out there, not necessarily Halo creators, but just like anyone trying to break out of a niche or change niches or like branch out, what kind of like, just from your experience, obviously, like we don't know everything, but like what tips would you give people that are thinking about trying to pivot a channel or thinking about at least trying to branch out a channel that might be kind of based around a specific game?
That's a good question. I don't know, but we'll probably let you know when we figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Like we're like in the trenches right now, trying to navigate our way out. We've had some success though when we started pivoting and then didn't commit to it. So this time around, we're trying to just commit to it, because like we did like 3 or 4 non-Halo videos and they were slow, and then we did a Halo video and it like bounced our views back, and we're like, oh, let's keep going with that. And then we look back and those other videos were just slow growers, and they eventually did really well. So I guess like you kind of have to just commit to it and then just like be way more patient with results, because your audience isn't going to be necessarily the ones pushing the video into the algorithm. It's going to be like this different audience that YouTube's going to have to like slowly gauge and then push it out. So that's from our experience so far, but we still have a lot to learn, I think, before we're fully like in the clear and successfully have pivoted. We've seen a lot of people try to pivot and not pull it through, though.
Yeah, I think commitment is a big thing. In the past, we've had like successfully done like other types of content and just not committed to it. I remember the speedrunning stuff. That was very slow, but like good. The original videos did very well, and we could have stuck with that, but we didn't. But I guess that was also pre-Infinite, so it was a little different than now. So
yeah, I think I'd
say it's a little easier now to commit than.
There's some people who will try to branch out, and then views won't be great for multiple videos in a row, and then they just go back to making their normal content. So yeah, I think you definitely got to be committed, and I also think luck plays a big part in it. In YouTube success in general, I think people underestimate sometimes how lucky you actually have to get, especially now with how saturated the space is.
Yeah, I think one of my biggest it's for sure like branching out. I feel like one of the biggest things is like you said, some of those videos are just slow burners, because like I probably haven't committed as hard to branching out as you guys, but like I know like one video that I put out basically at the start of the year was like a mega flop, and then like recently it's almost like 300K now, and it's like stuff like that where it's like, instead of, because back then I'm like, oh, that flopped, right? And then I made a Halo video right after that did like 20K. I was like, oh yeah, like hell yeah. But it's like when you go back and look, it's like, damn, like maybe I should have lined up, more branch out videos, and like you can still occasionally cover Halo, obviously, but like you don't want to fall back on it and get into that cycle where you're like, oh shit, like here's five more videos in that niche that I was already stuck in because the couple videos that I put out didn't really work. So it's definitely hard, but yeah, and I think too, it help, like when you're branching out, it's almost like starting over a little bit. Like you have to be willing to experiment with different types of stuff. Like your style of content that worked in X game might not work in like general gaming or in a different game, because the audiences are different and you're competing with other people that might already be doing something similar but better. But like, yeah, so it's definitely, yeah, sorry, you go.
Oh, sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt you. No. Finish it. I'll chime in afterwards.
Okay, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, it's a very, very complicated, like there's so many factors that go into it, but it's something that's really hard to figure out. But I think like it's definitely something that I think leads to a lot of people just burning out of YouTube altogether, because they get stuck into a niche and then they don't want to cover that niche anymore, and they like try to branch out a little bit and it like flops at first, and then they just kind of give up, because you're like, if you spend years doing something or however long and you're used to getting, like, it doesn't matter your size, like even if you're used to getting like 1K a video, if you branch out and get like 50 views, you're like, oh fuck, why am I wasting my time? But like if you're a bigger YouTuber and you're used to getting like 1 to 200K a video and you're branching out and you're getting 10% of that, like it's very demotivating to want to continue. So it's like very hard to get over that hump, where like I think that's where you see a lot of people just give up on YouTube altogether, and they move on to other ventures in life, because they kind of think like, oh, like I peaked during that point and that's kind of it for me. Whereas in a lot of cases, not everyone obviously, but like with enough perseverance and being willing to try different stuff, I used to believe that like, that you could just kill a channel by trying to pivot or going into the wrong niche. But like, after analyzing a lot of stuff on YouTube and seeing so many people pivot and like completely blow up channels that were like relatively small before, I've kind of changed my opinion, where I don't think any YouTube channel is really dead at all, other than maybe like if you bought 100K subs or something, they're all dead subs. But like any real channel that had actual growth to it, I don't think they're ever dead, but it's just a matter of like, you have to be willing to try different things and actually commit to it, instead of just like, oh, I was putting out X content in Halo, and now I'm going to try that content in COD. Oh, it flopped. All right, I'm done. But what were you going to say, Elijah?
I think to add to both of your thoughts, because I think this is a big thing that is overlooked a lot by smaller content creators, and it's something that took us a little bit, but once we figured it out, I think it made a big difference. But there is luck when it comes to the algorithm. I think that's given with any content creator. Where you put content out, you never really know 100%. But I think a big part is like having your content be prepared, though, to capitalize on an opportunity if the algorithm does decide to push the video out. And I think like with any genre that you try to get into, like a big part is like having like the best content. Like at the end of the day, like content trumps everything else. So it's like if like you're trying to push into another genre, like if your content isn't like better or at least as good as other creators in that genre, like you're not going to stand a chance. And I think like that's why, like, for instance, the Animal Crossing channel was really easy to get my like foot in the door because there weren't a lot of content creators out there doing the type of content that I wanted to do. And I was like, this is a great opportunity. We can just like use our experience with Rocket Sloth and make polished videos, and you know what I mean, people will be like engaged with it because it's kind of like one of the better forms of content in that genre. And I think that that's kind of what we did with Halo. Like no one was doing like the storytelling perspective where we like retold our experiences and we're trying to like play Halo in different ways and whatnot. And it's like that approach though of it's like, how are we going to like push into other genres covering topics in ways that no one else is and like make it really, really like just good. If that makes sense, just like really, really polished, like no exception or like no room for like subpar content or like I don't know, like things you can get away with, like we could get away with now in Halo, like aren't things we can get away with while trying to pivot. Like we have to be like really precise and like intentional in a lot of the content, or else like we're like nobody's just gonna like, you know, watch someone with like poor editing or something, or like just monologuing, talking about Call of Duty for like, you know what I mean, 6 minutes. When there's,
I mean,
like,
it depends
you know
on
what I
who
mean?
you are. Some people might watch certain people do that, you know.
Right, but I
was
like,
thinking
I mean,
like, you know, bigger creators, you know. So
Right.
like bigger creators can do whatever they want. They can have the laziest content they want.
right. Once
and
they've
people
established their
watch
way
them.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's because
But it's like going
those
for the
guys.
pivot
Well,
perspective, or like starting
yeah.
small, right? Like you can start small and have like very like basic editing, but you're not gonna have like the explosive growth in the same way that if you make competitive content that like is better than the top tier content creators. And then once you make it, like once you have an audience that like engages with your personality, then yeah, you can have freedom. Like we on Rocket Sloth, we did videos on like best birds in Halo. Like a small channel, like doing a video, like if some guy like upload his first video and it's him doing best birds in Halo and just him on a webcam and showing pictures of the birds, like it probably not like that much potential for like growth, but like you have to go like really aggressive and just having like good content. Like if you have more than like a couple hundred subscribers already, like you've already proven that like in some field you've been able to like establish yourself as like doing something at some point. Like your content was like the best of the best in that topic, right? And people like engaged with it and subscribe because of it. So it's like taking that concept of just like constantly trying to make the best content and being better than what else is out there, and like putting that on a bigger scale, so that if YouTube does decide to push the video, you always have like your best foot forward with capitalizing on that.
There's absolutely things you can do to set yourself up for success. Like you talked about some of them, like being unique, being better than other people in that space.
Right.
Absolutely. But I also still think luck does play a big role. I've come across channels which many people would consider their type of content lazy, and they get tons of views. I've also seen the opposite, where people are making great content and it's like they have no subscribers. So I do think there's channels out there that can be making banger content and they're just not seeing any growth. Again, there's things you can do to help yourself along and help your channel succeed, but I still think luck plays a huge role in it. And some big content creators, they recognize that. They recognize how lucky they got. Others don't recognize that. They think it's just because of the content they made, but in reality, luck did play a big role.
Right. I definitely think luck's big on it for sure.
I feel like luck plays more of a role in like the speed at which someone grows rather than whether it'll happen. Because you're totally right. There are people who will put out like 2 videos on YouTube and just blow the fuck up, and you watch them and you're like, these are good videos, but like, why did this blow up so much, right? And then you'll watch someone who's put out like 20 videos over like 2 years that are really solid and they have like 2K subs, right? So obviously there's some luck involved. They're like, why did this person blow up? Why did this person not? But like, you also have to realize too, so much of it comes down to like the timing of a video. Like,
what the hell happened?
Oh no, everything's dying. Oh no. All right, I think the stream's dead. Hold on. I will fix this. What the fuck? Can you guys hear me?
I thought it was my internet.
I can hear you now, yeah.
My shitternet, dude. It's always my shitternet. I gotta love the shitternet, dude. It's one of the best. Here, you could not access the specified channel or stream key. All right, fuck you, OBS.
Are we not live?
No, it died.
I think it died.
Oh, fuck.
It just died though, right when Arash was talking about it. So.
Yeah, we'll fix it. Hopefully, shit, maybe not.
Is it attempting to reconnect or?
No, I just like the bitrate just shit out. It's just dead. Hold on, I'm like reconnecting my account right now.
Okay.
Fuck.
Yeah, you lagged in Discord too, so it was just your internet.
Oh shit, I gotta fucking.
That's why you need to go back to Cox.
Dude, I need to do something.
Things were better then.
I gotta fucking like connect. I have 2 Twitch like apps on my phone for authentication, and it's very confusing. I always pick the wrong one. All right, here we go. Apply. Move the chat box over here. Start streaming. Okay, we'll see if we come back up. Evolved in chat said most stable RS internet. Yeah, I agree. My internet's fucking dog shit.
We're back.
All right, we're back. I don't really remember what I was saying, so unfortunately, I think that thought is dead in my mind.
You're talking about the speed at which you grow.
Oh,
on YouTube,
yeah.
If you wanted to finish that,
I feel like there are so many more factors too than just the quality of a video, like the timing, like how saturated that specific topic is. Just like because you can. I feel like I saw someone on Twitter earlier. They put out basically like another. Like Halo deserves better type video, and it wasn't doing very well. And someone responded saying like, I feel like people are just kind of tired of that topic, and I kind of agreed with that. Where it's like, in that specific case, like we've been hearing that for 2 years now. So it's like there's other topics like that you have to kind of hit it while people want to listen and like care about that specific topic. But obviously, like sometimes. You have videos that pop off that you don't think are good. Sometimes you have somebody in my experience, what you think is like your best fucking content, and it just shits the bed. I think like some of the best videos I've ever done are like some of my least viewed videos. So it's just but
that works.
In retrospect, when I analyze those videos, right, I have like a Call of Duty video that's like it's like a 21-minute retrospective on COD 4, right? That is a very, like, a lot of people have made that same video. So, like, it kind of makes sense why I didn't do that well. And then, like, I had a video, basically the same thing about Crysis, like, that I put out before Infinite came out. But it was, like, same thing. Like, how many people have made retrospectives of the first Crysis? Like, the videos, in my opinion, were pretty good, but they were in topics that had already been pretty well covered. So it's like, maybe that's plays a part in why those videos did poorly, but then sometimes you have no clue too. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And you did mention something about like luck playing more of a role in the speed at which you grow your YouTube channel, right? But like even with that, it's like some people only have a limited amount of time. Some people can't afford to just dedicate years of their life to this.
That's true.
And hoping that eventually it takes off. So
Well, and I think that time is the killer of YouTube careers, because I think like if you have the dedication and you're actually willing to put in the effort, eventually probably everyone could somewhat make it on YouTube, assuming you have like the skills. But the problem is most people don't have that amount of time. Like you have to move on.
If
with
you
your
have that
life.
time
Like,
and you're making banger content, then you're more likely to grow a successful channel. But like, when I mentioned luck, there are some people that they don't have to do it for that long, and they just boom, they blow up.
Yeah, and
there's people making better content than them who no one's ever heard of, and they've been doing it for a year.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the game of YouTube, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's just what it is. Yeah.
I would make the argument though. I'll go out here and make a call a little bit more on left field, but if there's yes, luck plays a big role, right? And there are channels that people who are just lucky and they blow up. But talking specifically to the content creators who make good content and aren't seeing growth, I guarantee you, if you showed me any channel of someone who made great content and wasn't seeing any growth, they're still doing something wrong. Maybe their content is very entertaining, right? But as far as playing the YouTube game, upload consistency, thumbnails, consideration for watch retention, right? They're doing something wrong, because I firmly believe that if you make if you play the game correctly, you make good content, you upload frequently, and you make you know what I mean, you consider the YouTube optimization of what YouTube's asking for, inevitably your channel will blow up. I feel very firmly in that belief. I've seen that happen enough times, but so many times I look at content creators who are struggling to get any type of growth or something, and I feel I can usually pinpoint it down to just a couple of things. And the hardest part, I think, is sometimes it's hard to present the specific things in a way that creator that you're trying to help can kind of grasp and how that they should move forward with their content. But I genuinely feel most of the time a channel that makes good content is missing one or two things to and that might be one of the reasons. Maybe they do get some luck, but I feel then when they do have a strike of something good happening, the YouTube algorithm maybe picking up a video, they're not capitalizing on that, or they didn't do something in the video to capitalize on that growth, and that's stunting themselves from growing more in the future. But I feel with YouTube, it's a long part of the process is getting good at being a YouTuber, and then then you play the game, and you play the algorithm, and you play all these other parts that play together, and it is very time consuming also. We talked about, people don't have time to commit that much time, and that's also a big reason why I think a lot of content creators don't get past the initial 1,000, 5,000 subscribers, or don't see a video ever blow up, just because I feel it's they either make really good content and not upload enough, or they still have growth to do as a creator to make good enough content where anybody who's watching will want to continue to watch their content in the future. So I think luck is definitely a big role, but how you capitalize on that luck when things do fall in your favor is up to the creator too.
Yeah, luck's a big role, but it's not all luck. I understand. Right. Is my mic back on?
You are right about channels that have just blown up because of luck too.
Is it?
You're completely right about that.
Is it still?
No, I think you're good now.
I'm good. Okay, Elijah, if you were finished with your point, I was gonna say I'm sure you could find a bunch of channels, and you could point out things that they're not capitalizing on.
Right.
Absolutely, but another thing, that when I say luck, I mean there's some channels who don't have to capitalize on all those things,
right?
And
Absolutely.
They still blow up. We agree. Luck plays a big role, but it's not everything. There's absolutely things you can do to help your channel succeed, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I just see some creators act like luck plays no role or no part in their success. They just make banger content, and that's the reason why they're big. But I think I think I think luck plays a big role. And I think, if we look back at several years ago, like it was easier to grow in this content creation space. So that plays a role into it as well. And I know some of these big content creators don't recognize that, the space is different now. Like people can't do the same things that they could do then to grow their channel today, or it's a lot harder.
Yeah. That was the scariest thing for me with the Animal Crossing thing, right? Like, because I really wanted to make Animal Crossing content, and I was coming in with no audience at all. And my biggest fear was, like, I would get into this mindset where I convinced myself that my content was good, and it really wasn't. And then I'm just waiting for that strike of luck to blow the channel up, instead of, like, constantly trying to, like, push my content and, like, formulate, like, video titles and on topics and stuff that potentially could do well. And I see a lot of small channels, like a lot of people who are on that grind, and they're like doing the same type of content 6 years later than they were, you know what I mean? Like back then. And like, they're not pushing their content, their storytelling, their quality enough. Like they have okay quality. I see a lot of like streamers actually who like have a good stream setup, but they're also trying to grow on YouTube, and they like put, like VODs and stuff up, but they don't like think of it from like a YouTube perspective. And then they wonder like why their videos don't like reach more people, right?
You can't like just chop up a VOD and upload it on YouTube unless you're already a big streamer. Like it just it doesn't.
Or people who stream on YouTube and they like, you know what I mean? Like they do like an OBS setup and they record videos and talk about stuff and put it on there. Like you can do that, but like if you're 6 years in and you're still waiting for like your big blow up, like I mean, there's some missed opportunity there. Like you have to push the boundaries of what your content is, so that like the things that you're talking about, like your opinions and all that, are formulated in a way that like people are interested in listening to. You know what I mean? Like
I feel like one of the biggest problems, and I'm not saying that I don't have this, but like one of the biggest problems creators have is it's hard to actually look at your own content and be reflective and figure out like you're saying, I've been doing the same type of thing for X amount of years, and like maybe it does okay, but nothing's ever like blown up. Like some people just chalk that up to being unlucky, when in reality it's like you probably needed to try other stuff. You needed to improve X thing in your videos. You needed to do this and that. And the only thing I would disagree with that you were saying is I think in today's YouTube landscape, like upload quantity isn't as important. Now, obviously, the more you upload, like the more chances you have to hit the algorithm. So it does correlate in a certain degree, but like I've seen so many channels grow off of putting out like one video every month or two. And I feel like today you can spend a lot of time on really high quality content as long as it's really high quality. The only problem is when you're a small creator and you do that, you'll still have misses, and you'll spend 2 months on a video that gets like 1,000 views and that hurts.
Right.
Whereas when
that's what I was saying when I brought up the quantity side, it was like, if there's a content creator doing everything perfectly and you think their videos are like perfect and you're wondering why they're not growing, it could be the quantity. You know what I mean? Like they uploaded 2 good videos that didn't hit the algorithm, and then they haven't uploaded in 6 months. Yeah. It's like YouTube's not doing anything in that in between.
No, yeah, for sure. I mean, you still have to obviously be uploading, and you have to be able to, especially if you're putting a lot of time into videos, like you have to be able to bounce back, because especially starting out, like even if your first video you upload hits 100K, most likely your next video probably doesn't even hit 10. So like you have to be able to bounce back from having videos that like do well and then some that don't, and like looking at that fucking 10 out of 10 in the YouTube website and trying to figure out like what to do next. Like it's the YouTube analytics pages it's set up to depress you, I swear. Like you get the little balloons and the confettis when you get a 1 out of 10, but like
they changed it though. You can hide it now.
Oh, okay, but I don't. I know it exists.
Yeah, of course you're gonna check it. Check it every time.
Yeah, fucking every time I upload a video, like for 30 minutes in, an hour in, I'm like, all right, well, fucking what out of 10 are we? And you see it and you're like, 3 out of 10? I'll take that. Fucking 9 out of 10. You're like, fuck. spent like 3 weeks on that page.
10 out of 10, you're like, my career is over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
it's like, I wish they would just do like a ranking out of all of your videos. Instead of 10 out of 10,
that'd be kinda
I'd
cool.
love for it to be like, this video is ranked 250 out of 520. You're like,
it would be cool if you could
okay.
toggle to that, because you'd be like, oh shit, dude, it's it's
Not too bad.
not too bad. But yeah, and that's the hard part too, because like if you're blowing up and you see like 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10, like those waves aren't like fucking endless either. Like eventually you're still, even if you've been doing really well, you're gonna have ups and downs, and so you have to be able to bounce back from that. But yeah, YouTube's just it's a hard game. I think one thing that I've learned from trying to put out not only Halo content is I feel like when you're outside of a smaller niche, thumbnails and titles matter so much more. Because I felt like when I was just making Halo videos, and granted I was making way more, I was making like 3 to 5 a week, but like I felt like you could title them whatever the fuck you wanted. You could like shit out a thumbnail with just some fucking text on on an image with maybe a logo or something, and it would do fine. But when you're trying to compete in like that wider space where you're covering like broader topics, I feel like you have to put so much more time into really thinking about titles and thumbnails, and I hate it. I hate it so much. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard. All right. Well, any final thoughts on the YouTube-ness before we move on?
No, I think it was good talk. I mean, it's fun talking YouTube with you guys. I feel like you guys all have a good head on your shoulders for understanding what goes into it.
I think the key to YouTube success is you just put out nothing but Halo live gameplay commentaries from now until the next 10 years. You'll blow up. Easy 1 mil subs.
And mind you, if you're, like let's say you're a content creator and like you really want to make a video where you're just like talking about something, right? And you want to just turn your webcam on and talk about it. Like you can do that and be okay with that and make that type of content for your audience. But like, you have to make those decisions. Are you making this content for your audience, or are you making the content to grow your audience? And I mean, like once in a while, like do whatever, like reach out, chat with your audience, keep them engaged. But also like think about like, evergreen content, like what's gonna pop off and grow your channel and try to get bigger and stuff. I think like, I was critical about that type of, easy content. But the easy content's not going to hurt your channel, right? Like it's just, it's how you formulate like the big projects and like what you're working on, what your eyes are on next.
Yeah, I will say from my like past 7 months on YouTube, I have learned that making videos on topics that have legs to them is so much more beneficial than like when you just cover something that's like super topical and is irrelevant in a week. Because that was like when I was making nothing but Halo videos, right? So many of them were based around the patches or like the blog posts and stuff like that, and that has like a two-day window max. Like after 2 days, that it's not getting any views. Like it's a dead video, right? But I've learned now that I can put out a video and it can be a slow burner. Like 6 months later, the video can still be getting a ton of views. And so it's like a totally different mindset where you have to come up with ideas that aren't basically like aren't hand fed to you. They're not just like, oh, hey, this is something that's topical, like that you like some news or something like that. You have to come up with like ideas that it may be, I mean, obviously no video is evergreen forever, right? Like things become outdated, but for a year or two, like this same topic or this same idea is something that people will still come back to and watch. Like your guys' recent like Saints Row video, like, I mean, eventually that probably gets outdated, right? Like 5 years from now, maybe people don't watch that, but for like the next year or two or fucking, well, who knows with Saints Row? Because I don't know if they're gonna make another game. So that one might be relevant forever, but
we're talking about canceled games too. And
yeah.
There's videos out there when I looked, right? This was kind of a good example of this. I looked for people who've covered the canceled games, and there's videos on the canceled games, but nobody did a video where they talked about all of the canceled games in one video, right?
Yeah.
And I had an idea of a thumbnail, like I could formulate one of the canceled games and make a box art for it and put it in the thumbnail. And we had 2 thumbnails, and we put the first thumbnail up. The video, I think the video was 10 out of 10 on our channel when we first put it up, and then like 4 days in, you can just see like it just spiked right upwards. We did change the thumbnail after a couple days, which is a trick that you can do to re-roll the algorithm on a video sometimes. And it just like spiked straight up and went right to like 50,000, which, you know, is better than some of our lower Halo videos recently that don't perform as well. Like we do a big Halo video and only gets 30,000 views. You know, us doing a non-Halo video that gets 20,000 views, it's almost comparable. So we're willing to kind of risk some things and try some other stuff, I guess.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, well, I think that kind of. Oh, what's up?
There was one more thing I wanted to touch on real quick. I should have jumped in before, but when you mentioned, Elijah, about how, like, you know, some people, you know, they'll just turn on their webcam and they'll just talk about whatever topic it may be, or they'll just talk over gameplay or something like that. One thing I wanted to like mention was that, you know, that type of content, you know, that used to fly back in the day, in the early days of YouTube. You know, there's a bunch of people that, I mean, that was the quality of content then, talking over gameplay or just talking to your webcam. And those people that grew off of that and have become, you know, huge YouTubers, huge content creators, they can still kind of make that content. They can just talk over gameplay or talk to their webcam because they're already established. But, you know, the smaller YouTubers who are growing their channel and they want to stand out, they have to put more effort into their videos, which means, you know, it's harder for them to upload more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I mean, they're competing against these guys that can, you know, pump out videos, which, if some people would consider it lazy content, or it's not, you know, the quality of the videos aren't anything special. But, you know, from my experience, and I know you know this too, Rash, you know, spending time on videos and putting effort into it, it's like almost every time I do that, it just flops. It's like the videos the less amount of effort you put into a video, the better it does. And I don't know why that is. I would say it's a coincidence, but when it happens almost every single time, it's just annoying. I mean, that's annoying. I don't do things just for views. I'm not looking at analytics and stuff like that too much, but right. I mean, that I would be lying if I said that wasn't a little frustrating, that pretty much every time you put a lot of effort into a video, it flops, and the videos that you just shit out do well. Like right. What the hell is that?
And I know that I like could be coming across almost as like pretentious with some of this stuff, but like I'm just like really passionate about like people figuring out like the what, like if they're looking to grow their channel, like that perspective, like mm-hmm. It is way more aggressive now in making content that is better than other people's content if you want to grow. Like you can't look to the top content creators anymore as like something you want to replicate, because like they're able to, like people who watch Markiplier today, like they've been watching him for like a decade. They are invested in him. They've you know what I mean? They've like grown up with Markiplier. Oh, yeah. So like they're gonna watch whatever. Like that's fair. Like he's established himself. A new content creator doesn't have that longevity with their audience. So they just simply can't get away with it. But right. The other thing is like look at Let's Plays, right? Like 2014, 2015, you could blow up being a Let's Player. Yeah. If you're doing Let's Plays in 2023, like you're probably not going to see growth unless you're doing something completely different, because like Twitch streams or live streams have like completely dominated like the need for Let's Plays, right? Like people would just go watch someone do it live on Twitch or YouTube and then watch the VOD if they missed it.
Or watch someone established.
Yeah, or watch someone more established play it.
Yeah, I imagine the people that can still get away with doing Let's Plays were people that were doing it 10 years ago, you know?
Right. Yeah, I don't think like someone wants to start a YouTube channel now, they're like, I'm gonna do a Let's Play, a Minecraft Let's Play. Unless you're doing something completely like unique, you know what I mean? Like, and in that case, that you're doing exactly what we talked about. Like you're competing with everyone else doing Minecraft content because you're doing something unique and different and better than everyone else. But yeah, like if you're just, you know, hey guys, today we're playing Minecraft. Part 1. And, you know, I mean, just like. You upload like 7 episodes at the same time because you just cut it up at 10 minutes, cut it off. Right. You know what I mean?
The fucking 10:01 episodes.
Yeah, 10 one day.
Yeah. No, for sure. And earlier, BHB, you were talking about how like it's harder to grow now than it was like 5 years ago or whatever. And it totally is. But that'll also be true 5 years from now, assuming YouTube still exists. Like, I think it'll just perpetually get hard. Like the bar,
Probably, yeah.
the bar for like quality is just, it's going to continue to grow over time. Like, it's not. You can't just revert back to things that worked 5 years ago, because obviously like YouTube has progressed past that. So yeah, if you're starting a channel today and you're trying to grow, you have to be willing to like put in the effort and try new things and like pay attention to what's actually growing channels now. You can't just like model it after your favorite YouTuber that's been making videos for 10 plus years, because most likely that style of content, just won't do anything. Like you can put it out as much as you want, but it probably isn't going to grow.
Here's also how I always viewed it. Like, growing a YouTube channel is basically like starting your own business. And on average, the first 2 years, you're not going to see any returns, right?
Right.
If you start like a business. And I mean, like when we started Rocket Sloth, I was working at McDonald's like 9-hour shifts, and then afterwards editing, it was just like grinding it out and shit. And like, I don't know.
That's
There's
another
definitely like some way you have to push yourself. And I do, like, we've been doing Rocket Sloth for 6 years now, and like sometimes it gets hard still doing that same grind,
Right.
6 years later, but it is a little bit motivating still, especially now with us branching out. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, if you start a small business, you probably won't make any profits for like 2 or 3 years, and that's just the grind you gotta have with YouTube. And I mean, like, if you start any business, you gotta evolve it. You gotta, work around your customers, which in this case are your viewers, I guess.
Yeah,
And,
it takes time for
yeah.
things to take off, and I think that's why it's it's kind of important.
Mhm.
I guess if it's kind of important for you to enjoy what you're doing, so that way it's not like a waste of time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's I would say, and this is just, I don't know if you guys agree with me, or Luke, if you agree with me. I would say, like, growing a YouTube channel now and being as competitive as we're talking about, and making content that's like top tier, right? Like, it's probably a 3-man job realistically. So if you're an individual content creator, like, you either have to be prepared to push through burnout and work 3 times as hard, or I mean, the Luke and I starting a channel together, like, I was a YouTuber before Rocket Sloth. I had 28,000 subscribers over 5 years. And I definitely the last year had like this like sunk cost like fallacy in my head, where I was like, I've put this much time into this channel, like, and why isn't it still growing more? Or like how do I, like, you know what I mean? Like this is it. And eventually I dropped that mindset. I was like, start fresh. And like doing the partnership with Luke, like, we worked really hard, and probably as hard as like a team of 3 people would. And like, but like having someone else working on a channel with you is like such a secret to like growing YouTube, I feel like, because there's like, not only can it help with burnout, where one person's burned out, the other person can kind of pick up the slack, especially if you have like a good dynamic like Luke and I have, but like just in general, like being able to hold, like having someone holding you accountable, and then also being able to hold someone, your partner, accountable, keeps like the system moving, the whole machine running. Because like, like, I know Luke, like right now, like, we just put a video out, we don't have anything currently in production, so like I know in the next day, like, I gotta get something recorded, like planned out, recorded, or else like Luke's just sitting there waiting for me, like, you know what I mean, like, and I'm messing up like his week, and vice versa. Like, Luke knows, like, I sent the audio, and I'd like to see the video go up at some point, so he pushes himself to get the video done.
Yeah.
And I think like having that type of accountability, and then like as a partnership goes, like, it is good. But definitely it's like it is like, I would say, like a 3-man job, so either 2 people working as hard as a third person, or you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, with the partnership stuff, you gotta be like, you gotta have a certain level of maturity, I guess.
Yeah,
because like, I remember me and Elijah got into some dumb fights over the years, but like,
we're good at solving them though.
Yeah,
like
but I mean, it is whatever. I remember we got a fight. Remember when we did Nintendo, and I don't even remember what it was about.
I remember
we got in a fight about
Nintendo.
something.
It couldn't have lasted long though if we did.
No, it didn't. But I remember it. It's just some
I don't
dumb
think we've
shit.
ever fought for like more than like a day.
No, I
you
will
That was
say
like a
like
one-sided fight, Luke. Like you remember it, but Elijah doesn't.
Luke was
Yeah, I don't remember.
No, I
He
don't
was
even
having a
remember what
fight
it
in
was
his head.
about. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
remember Nintendo. He was like
Luke was seething.
project.
Elijah didn't even know anything was
Yeah,
going on.
Luke thought they were fighting, but like,
No, I
but
just remember this the first time we had a disagreement.
yeah, I mean
think,
to
and then like we moved past it.
to wrap back
I don't even
to
remember.
what you were saying, Elijah. Definitely having people to work with is helpful. I will say I think you guys are probably the exception to that rule because I feel like it's so hard to find someone that is kind of on that same page as you and wants to work as hard as you. That in a lot of cases, I think you see so many channels where people get this like cool idea they're going to start a channel with their friend or they're going to do this and that, and it ends up like one person just drops the ball and then the channel just never does anything. And I feel like you see that way more often on YouTube.
I mean, like, yeah, I guess so. You know, in high school, when there was a crew project, I wouldn't fucking participate in the crew project, right?
yeah,
But I've grown up, and now I participate in the crew project. So
I don't
Yeah.
know
if you
it's
haven't
also
grown out
part
of
it.
the high school phase of not participating in the crew project, you know what I mean? Obviously, it doesn't work.
fucking hated group
Luke,
projects.
Luke and I
Same.
weren't friends when we started
Yeah.
the channel though.
no,
was
no.
another thing,
in
though.
in your
We,
case, that too that helps. But at the same time, dude, like, I think randomly picking someone to like. It will say in Luke's
I
case
guess
to,
it's kinda crazy.
to edit and to help with all the footage and to like help come up with ideas. Like there's dude that you like that you're rolling the dice. Obviously, like it worked with Luke, but also you might just find someone that's a piece of poo poo. But I will say to your point, like having another person there that keeps you kind of like accountable is something that even like I've experienced because like so for a long time I had like one specific editor and then he kind of moved on to other things and then like I put out some videos on my own for like a few months and like one didn't do well and then I just didn't upload for like 3 months on my main channel and like
Right.
I was like whatever, like I just didn't have the motivation to do it. And now like I'm working with Chipmunk and it's the same thing where I'm like, all right, like we just put out a video, like I know I need to get a script put together. I need to get him voiceover so that he has something because like obviously like he wants to get paid and like put out videos. So it's like, you know, it like that was the same thing when I had like a previous editor, right? Like we had a deal, like back then I was putting out too many videos, but like we had an understanding we were going to put out like 2 to 4 videos a week. So I knew like I had to come up with 2 to 4 ideas a week. And sometimes that meant like shitting out like some gameplay and stuff like that, which I try to avoid doing now. But like when you have another person there, it definitely can kind of like, you know, it does keep you accountable to some degree. Cause otherwise like a lot of people too, when it's just yourself, you know, you kind of just, yeah, whatever. Like I'll get back into it next week, right? It's the same with like going to the gym, right? You're like, I'll go to the gym next week, and then next week rolls around, and you're like, I'll start the gym next week, and then like next thing you know, it's like the end of the year, and your New Year's resolution is that you're gonna go to the gym the following year, and then you just repeat the cycle, right? So like,
Right.
it's the same concept, right? Because that's why people get like workout partners and stuff. So obviously having other people to keep you accountable is definitely, it's helpful. But at the end of the day, if you want to grow a YouTube channel, like you just have to be self-motivated because it most likely won't be easy. And you'll most likely put out videos at the start that will do nothing. And you have to be willing to like continue to work at it and continue to improve. And like eventually, you know, you'll see some success, but it's definitely not easy.
Right. No, I agree.
So I will say kind of wrap it up since we're talking about like breaking out of niches and stuff. So like, and you guys can disagree if you want, but like I will say to anyone on YouTube that, because I feel like I see this all the time on Twitter. I feel like I see so many creators that are depressed and sad because they feel like their channel's dead. They're stuck in a niche they don't want to do, or the niche they were covering is dying and they feel like their channel is dying. You just have to like suck it up and like try and break out of a niche, and if you're willing to put in the effort, you can do it, but it's not going to be easy. You have to be willing to try things to break out of a niche, and I think a lot of people just get caught up where they just get in the cycle of like, ah, fuck, like it's not working, blah blah blah, and then at the end you just stop uploading, right? But from trying it myself and actually like putting in effort, you know, I haven't seen the success of like a huge YouTuber, but like this half a year on YouTube where I've actually tried to make videos that branch out. I mean, I've had videos pop off more this year than I ever did covering Halo. So it's like you just have to be willing to try and to continue to try new things, and eventually, hopefully, it works out.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Nobody's like, the thing is, it sucks being burned out and being, you know, feeling down about your content. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. There's nobody's gonna help you with that. Like, you know, I don't know. It sucks, but you got to push through it.
Yep.
Yeah, you have to kind of, you know, if you feel like you're procrastinating on like a video topic or a video, and like you find yourself sitting down like to play video games for like 3 hours one night instead of like working on that video you're putting on the back burner, like you kind of have to sometimes convince yourself to put the game down and get the work done. That was me the other night. I wanted to play Persona, and instead I ended up finishing a video.
Yeah, no, for sure. I will say that's one thing that like a lot of people get into content creation because they think it's, especially video, like gaming content creation, because they just want to play games. And in this day and age, you don't grow a channel by playing games. It is a whole lot of coming up with ideas, a whole lot of editing, a whole lot of time doing literally anything but actually playing video games. And so that was something that
some people. Sorry.
No, go.
I was just, there's some people that just spend all their time streaming games, right? So
Yeah.
it's like, that's even worse, you know?
Yeah, that's
It's like, do you really want to be a content creator and grow a channel, or do you just want to play games?
Yeah, and I think there's that's the common thing is I think a lot of people don't actually want to be content creators. They just want to play games and get paid for it, which is like, they're two very different things. Like, being a content creator requires a lot of things that aren't just playing video games, even if it's based around the topic of playing video games. And yeah, I think
we also have to talk about how, like, for years it's been like sold like this miracle thing, like playing video games for a living, like, and like there's all these like also these YouTube channels and like software that are like, yeah, follow these 10 steps and you'll blow up on YouTube, 10 short hacks, you know, shit like that. And like, I mean, like, that has always happened throughout like modern history, I feel like. I don't know. Think about all the fucking kids in the 60s who bought a guitar when to fucking start a rock band. You know what I mean? Like, fucking 99% of them didn't make it. That's just the reality of it. And I mean, like,
I think Post Malone actually got into music through like Guitar Hero.
Yeah, fucking Minecraft.
No, but I think before that, like, he like got into music because of that, which I think is crazy.
Yeah, but like, you know what I mean? It's like, there's always this dream people are chasing, and I guess the more modern times. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said his kid, like, at school, they were talking about what they want to do for careers, and all the kids were like, "Yeah, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be an influencer." And I was like, "Oh, that sounds awful, dude."
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like you were talking about this, PopQ, and I think it's something that people are finally starting to realize. But yeah, like, the idea of just streaming a game for like fucking 8 hours a day, 7 days a week, like, the grind is the stupidest thing ever. Like, you will never,
especially
grow.
Now.
Yeah.
Like, that type of stuff may have worked back in the day. Yeah, you may have been able to just play video games and grow a channel, but it's different now. It's a lot different now. It's way more saturated.
Yeah, one example I always think about is back in the day, if you were a League of Legends Challenger player and you were streaming, you would be popular, right? Mm-hmm. Today, it doesn't matter. Like, it's either you're established or like you're funny, but like nobody fucking watches you just because of your rank. But back in the day, it was a thing.
Oh yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
when League first came out, if you hit Challenger and you turned on a stream, you would do well. But yeah, that doesn't work today. You actually have to have more to it besides that, and you probably need to like build a brand, and even then, who knows, like, if people will care. And I'm not saying like streaming is bad. Like, I think streaming is a fantastic way to like connect with your audience, and for some people it's like a good outlet, you know, like, hey, I spent fucking a week making a video, like, maybe I do just want to chill for a couple nights and play games. Like, there's nothing wrong with that, but you kind of have to realize what you're getting out of the thing you're putting time into, right? And most likely streaming platforms, like you can stream all you want, but your actual growth is going to come off that platform. So not that you can't stream a decent amount of hours, but just realize that most likely all of that time is time not spent elsewhere. So
that's how I feel about streaming. Like Luke and I go through phases where we're like really into streaming because it's fun, but like when we step back and we like look at the time investment that goes into streaming versus like the time we could spend working on a video, like I mean, it's a great hobby, it's fun to have, but I've also seen streamers, like, this is unlike YouTube, like I was saying earlier, but I have seen streamers who I think are very entertaining, like incredibly entertaining, more entertaining than I would ever be, and they don't break 40 viewers, you know what I mean? And it's just like, and they've been streaming for 5 years. Like, it's just it's like, I feel like with Twitch, the audience drop off is really high. Like, you have to either blow up or you're just going to be stuck constantly replacing your viewers that are just like, like getting like phasing out of your stream.
Yeah, I feel like building like a healthy like YouTube channel has a lot more longevity than people who just like blow up on one specific game streaming right at the start, because you see so many of those people who like get really good numbers for like 6 months or a year, but then that game dwindles down, or they try and move on to something else, and like all that viewer base is just gone. Whereas like YouTube, I feel like if you can kind of pivot a little bit better, or there's a little bit more like longevity to your fan base. Whereas like I feel like Twitch is just, it's fleeting. Like you said, you do have to constantly replace viewers because like so many people just kind of move on. And if you aren't constantly bringing in new people, then your stream just slowly kind of dwindles out.
Right. And then it's hard because it's like, how do you keep people interested in like the one game that they came for, right? And then you're like, well, and then when do you hit your cap on like everybody who would be willing to watch you has at least given you a try, and then you pivot, and then your audience that you had like also could dwindle off. So it's, I don't know, Twitch is stressful.
Yeah, Twitch is definitely hard. I think, I don't know. I mean, for different people, it works for different ways. There's definitely ways you can implement streaming into your growth strategy, especially if you are coming up with like content ideas that require playing stuff. Then it's like, yeah, I mean, if you're going to be playing something, maybe just stream it anyways, or it just depends. And obviously like some people don't care, like they do just want to chill and stream games, and that's totally fine too. Like you don't always have to be trying to grow, but you just have to kind of realize like you get out what you're putting in. And if you're just coming home every day from work and streaming for 5 hours and then going to bed, like you'll need probably a miracle at this point for that to pop off. So, and sadly, there's still more people doing that than I think like there really should be. But
well, that's the thing with Twitch. So I guess a lot of streamers that are younger and more popular recently, they did blow up of like clips on TikTok or clips on Twitter.
And I mean, we're talking a lot about YouTube, but like platforms like TikTok and YouTube Shorts and like Instagram Reels maybe less, but like those are perfectly viable platforms too. Like maybe you don't want to make long form content, then don't make TikToks. Like figure out a way to make good short form content. But just like YouTube, TikTok today is harder to grow on than it was when it first started blowing up. Like the people who would just talk into a webcam, throw some gameplay at the bottom, maybe some subtitles, like that blew up on TikTok, 2 years ago. But like today, you're gonna have to put more editing in. You're gonna have to come up with like cooler ideas. You're gonna have to like the TikTok meta evolves and the Shorts meta evolves in the same way that like the YouTube meta evolves, and it's the same thing. Like you'll constantly still have to be, if you're trying to start today, you probably won't be able to grow the same way that people who blew up did like a year ago, right? Like and especially in that space, I feel like that the meta has progressed so much faster than YouTube did back in the day. Because I feel like YouTube progressed pretty slowly, where like the level of quality in like gaming YouTube for a long time wasn't very high, but it slowly got there. Whereas I feel like TikTok, when it first rolled out, like you would just see like gaming clips, like just straight clips, and like eventually it was like edited clips, and then like people actually started putting more effort into it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
valid point. But what I wanted to get at more was, like, people thought, like, they didn't have many viewers, and people found their stream so funny that they would post clips of them on
Oh,
other
yeah.
platforms, and then they blew up there. There isn't, like, what I meant by that is, like, there isn't, like, a natural way even for them to grow. They blew up because they were funny, and people found them funny, and then more and more people found them funny until
Yeah.
they were huge. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I see Jinxie clips all the time. They're rarely from his own channel or his own TikTok,
Oh,
right?
I always get him from his TikTok, but you also
I
probably
mean, he
get more
doesn't post his clips. He doesn't post his clips.
Oh,
though.
you're
He
talking
just-
about like gameplay clips. Oh,
yeah, like from his stream. Like
I
yeah,
never
you know,
get his
and then-
gameplay clips. I get his TikToks where he's like talking to the camera, being fucking.
Oh
weird.
yeah. Those are funny, but
Yeah, they're good, but you're
but like
right.
people
you're
just found the streams funny. Or
Yeah,
Kai
yeah.
Sennett, right? I see Kai Sennett clips. I don't think
Yeah.
he has a fucking TikTok account, or I've never seen one. At least you know what I mean. But like, there's so many clips floating out there. So like with Twitch, I don't know, like fucking get viral. Just going viral is like so important.
right. Yeah,
The only way to grow now, which like that's luck, pure luck, I
Yeah.
guess.
yeah, for sure.
Or I mean, obviously these people are funny and entertaining. Don't want to take away from.
Yeah. No, for sure. I know what you're saying. All right. Well, we can kind of swap topics now. So I don't even know if there's anything in this category, but has anyone been playing any new games in the past couple weeks that you want to talk about? I don't really know.
Like brand new games or just new
Just,
to-
just
new to me?
anything you've been playing in the past couple weeks that you feel like talking about?
Played a lot of Persona 5.
What do you think
lot.
about it?
I think it's probably one of the best games that I've ever played. And I'm surprised I never heard of it until. I mean, I've heard of it. But I'm surprised I never tried it until I started it in April, and I took a big break, and then I picked it up maybe 3 weeks ago and gave it another try. And like, I got to the point where like it supposedly gets good. I actually read on Reddit, someone's like, if you get to this point and you're not into the game yet, like then it's not for you. And I like was almost at that point, and I pushed to it, and then the game just got like really good. And now
Yeah.
I'm like full on addicted. It's like 120 hours to beat, and I'm about like 65
Insane.
hours in. And
Have you played the other Persona games?
I'm going to eventually, but this is like my first
Oh, okay.
ever, so I'm excited. I really like it. I got Luke to finally start, and I think Luke played a little bit today.
Yeah, I played for like 8-9 hours straight today.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Because it like we're Xbox players, right? So like, you know, Persona only came out to the Xbox this year, so
Yeah.
it's cool, and I'm excited to try the other Atlas games. And there's a
Oh, okay.
what?
I thought you said Atlas, like that shitty pirate game, dude. I was
No, the company that makes they do like
no, I got it.
they do like Shin Megami Tensei and Soul Hackers, and there's a new game coming out next year. I forgot what it's called, but it
Rome
looks...
or Rose or some shit. Bad Romans.
No, that's not what it's called. I think it starts with like an
he
M
was
or something.
close.
What's it called? The new game?
Oh.
Do you know?
I don't know.
I'm not the person to ask.
It starts with an M, so you guys know.
Oh, yeah,
Mad Romance.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't remember what it was called. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. But yeah, Persona's been a franchise I've always seen. Like, it looks interesting, but I've never tried it. But the length of those games always just scares me. Which, like, I
Right.
always say I don't have time to play those games, and that's a lie, because I definitely do.
Oh gosh. Okay, I fucking saw a screenshot of your top 5 Steam. You had fucking Halo Infinite at 3, dude. Fucking, you know what I mean? Play some good fucking games.
Yeah, I've been playing Halo Infinite again, so I don't. I've been trying to hit Onyx in Arena, so I even bought a new controller.
Yeah, I don't know why you're doing that to yourself, man. I feel bad for you.
I feel bad for myself, so. Kevin said I'm not getting Onyx in Persona, and that's a good point, so, you know.
Mhm.
But
Yeah, you're not
it's
getting Onyx and Halo either. apparently.
Shit, yeah. I'm getting close, okay? I think I'm Diamond 6 now, so we're almost there, dude. I don't know what I'm going to do after I hit it. Probably just stream less, because I'll have nothing
Will
to
there
do.
still be games? You know, will you still find games? You know, what if the game shuts down?
I
tomorrow?
tried when I searched a game last night by myself, and it took like 5 minutes to find a game. It matched me versus a 4-stack. I got fucking shit stomped, and then I got off.
No.
Are they still making? Like, are they still supporting Halo Infinite? Did they shut it down yet?
They haven't actually, but
They announced that they're going to shut it down.
pretty soon probably. I'm still waiting for the PNG image that says like, "We're sorry, but Halo."
I've said this
Infinite-
I said this in group chat earlier, but I just want this on record as a clip that like there'll be big controversy in the next years when Steve Downs retires and they have to decide what will happen with Master Chief. Because like, you know what I mean?
I'll probably
I don't
just
know how long
replace
he's-
the voice actor.
Yeah, sure, but there'll be a big thing, you know? Because like the next game's coming out 7 years from now. Steve Downs will
Is
be
there
87.
even a next
AI
game
chief.
coming out, man? I don't know. I think Halo just.
If
I
the
think-
last 11 years didn't kill it, I don't know what it will stop.
I think we just ride out the next 1 to 2 seasons of Infinite. We call it a day. We give it its farewell, and then we just move on to other video
After Halo
games.
5 was the point where like, you know, they could have really had a change of heart and they could have been like, yeah, this has to be it. But like now it's like past the point. I don't know, dude. They're like a fucking criminal that keeps getting away with his crimes. Why stop? You know.
The sad thing is, I feel like they're going to keep working on Infinite. And that's
Wait, yeah, they threatened us, remember?
Yeah, they
when people
threatened
were
us
like-
with 10 years of Infinite, right?
Yeah. Well, that too, but like, remember when people were like, "Oh, 343 is not gonna make Halo anymore," and they was
Oh,
going
yeah.
like around
They're
the
like,
news. They had to make a statement. They were like,
We're here to stay.
Yeah,
You're
I
stuck
don't-
with us.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think the next
Yeah.
Halo game is going to be good. I'm just
Yeah.
going to get that out now. I don't think Halo 7 is going to
I
be
think
any
that's
better.
safe to say. If you just look at history.
Unless it's, I mean, based on the track record of the past 3 games, I mean, I think you'd be betting unwisely to bet it would be a good game. So, yeah.
No. That's you got to bet on the underdog because you'll make more money.
Oh, that's a good point, Elijah. So you got to bet. You got to go big. Halo 7's gonna pop off, and Halo's back. All right.
Rush just pulled an Ackman on me.
Oh shit.
You just
I'm
called me
thinking-
Elijah, dude.
Oh no, I was
Since
talking
there's
to
a-
Elijah because he
Oh.
was saying, "Come on,
No,
Never
now.
mind. I think that's funny.
No, that I."
Halo 7 does have a good chance of popping off. You know, there's
Yeah, no,
7
Xbox
there's
marketing-
7 Halo rings, right?
Oh,
So
Are
the
there?
7th game, it's got to be good, right?
will be called Halo 7 or Rings.
We didn't, Luke, we originally count like all the Halo rings and we like renumbered all the games based on which Halo ring they had
Yeah.
at one point. I don't know why we were doing it, but we figured it out. It's like
I was a joke in the video. maybe.
Halo 2 was called Halo 2 because it was the Halo ring was number 2. And then
Yeah.
Halo 3 actually is Halo 1 2 because you go to the replacement of the first ring and then I don't know, then it devolves from there. But
This
And
is
then,
good.
then nobody gave a fuck after.
That's yeah, I agree. I think you hit the
Yeah.
nail on the head. All right. Well, nothing has really come out. So we have some gaming news topics we'll hit. We'll maybe rapid fire through these and then we'll kind of round up. But
Okay. I can always get angry at Halo again if you need me to, though. I can.
we'll save it. We'll save it for now. But
Just so you know.
I figure the first thing we should talk about, this isn't necessarily gaming related, but it's social media related, and we just spent an hour talking about YouTube. So, what do you guys think about Threads, dude? Have you guys made your Threads profiles? Are you fucking a Threads influencer
Yeah,
yet?
I'm a threader. You know.
Elijah, are you on
Hit it.
Threads?
No, barely
What?
on Twitter.
Come on now. You don't think Threads is the Twitter killer?
I don't know. I
I'm
think
not on
Twitter's a
Twitter anymore. I'm
killer.
just on Threads. You know.
Luke
So-
got bullied off of Twitter by the Spartan profile pics.
I finally gave in. I finally won. It's okay.
You made a
Well-
profile on Threads, Rash. Have you posted anything?
I just I just copy and paste my tweet and I put it on Threads. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude. I'm
But
up to
actually, I opened the app once and like I followed all the people I wanted to follow, and then I kind of closed it. I don't know. I saw you were already in the fucking trenches. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
over
dude.
there.
I'm always
Like,
in the
Rash was already
trenches,
arguing with the Spartan profile pictures on Threads.
dude. Dude,
Um,
I'm addicted to one version of Twitter. Now there's 2, dude. That's double the amount of addiction. It's unhealthy for me already. I've scrolled through both of them now, dude. I don't know, man. I will say Threads is literally just shitty Twitter. Like it just has way less features and it's just way worse. Like there's
right,
not
from a feature standpoint, but
scrolling through there's only like a home page and there's no way to like filter it. So my homepage is just full of random ass fucking shit still. Even though I followed like a ton of gaming people, it's still just like I'm scrolling through like fucking sports comes up, which is fine, I don't mind sports, but like random ass like influencers that aren't even like gaming related still pop up and I'm just like, sick. I really cared about that tweet. Or sorry, that that thread. But
I mean, there's nothing of value on Twitter, so there can't be nothing of value on Threads. It's probably how that works, right?
Yeah, I will say the only like thing that I kind of like about it is I feel like Twitter is such a useless ass platform. Like there's no like inherent value to Twitter because like no one really gets Twitter brand deals. Like the most likely, like even if you have
those Twitter influencers, dude.
That doesn't fucking exist. All those big Twitter like gimmick profile accounts, they don't make any fucking money. So it's like I will say the one thing that I think Threads has going for it is it's directly linked to your Instagram account. So maybe if you grow your stupid Threads, you could easily transition those people to be like, I also have Instagram. Here's a picture, and then maybe you could like get some brand deals or something. Because I saw, I'm not gonna say names, but saw some dude earlier tweeting out his Twitter impression saying he was looking for brand deals, and like I responded, and I was like, he got in a fight with some other guy that responded below him that had more Twitter impressions, and he's like, your Twitter impressions don't matter, you're a reply guy. And I responded like, why are we fighting over Twitter impressions, man? Like they're the most meaningless statistic in all of social media. Like nobody gets Twitter brand deals. And he responded back like, if you don't think Twitter impressions matter, then I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, when have you ever seen someone get a Twitter specific brand deal that wasn't like those fucking replies to viral tweets selling you a dildo? Like when have you ever seen someone get like a big money Twitter deal? It literally doesn't exist because no fucking brands care. Like you could wrap your Twitter into a brand deal. Like if you're like a YouTuber or something, you could be like, hey, I'll throw in a tweet and they'll give you like an extra $500 maybe. But like, yeah, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know.
You said you think Twitter's a useless platform? I think Twitter's a great platform, you know, with the features it has and everything, and how you engage with other people, and just, I mean, you can hop on Twitter and instantly, you know what's going on in the world as soon as you hop on it. It's a good way to hear about news.
You're
Not
right.
all of it's true, but
okay,
it's.
I'll rephrase my statement. It's fine for that. It's useless as like a brand perspective. Like I don't think like as like a content creator building like a Twitter profile like really matters because like those people don't really like transition over to other stuff. But unless you also are big on other platforms, that's mostly what I meant. But yeah, for news and like keeping up with like gaming stuff or just like general like life news, yeah, Twitter's good for that.
All right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Threads will take it over, but I have seen people saying like, we've played this game before with like Twitter like apps before, but none of those had the backing of Facebook before, so this will be a little bit different. So,
but is that why the other ones failed, or is it just, or did they just fail because they were shittier Twitter, kind of like Threads is right now? And who knows how long it's going to take to get all the features?
Yeah.
How long it's going to take to get feature parity with Twitter.
Yeah, I mean Google Plus failed, and it was just shittier Facebook. So, and that was backed by Google. So, we've played that game before.
When these platforms launch and they're supposed to be the alternative to an already established platform, but they launch with significantly less features, and even if they had the same features, it's like, it's going to take a lot to get everybody to move from one platform that's already established, that they've been using for years. Everyone's on it. They already follow everyone, and like switch to another one. It's just, it's going to take a lot to get that to happen. We see other streaming platforms like popping up, like, Kick or, Rumble and these competitors, all these different competitors to Twitch. And I think it's a little easier for those to pull people from Twitch just because it's just live streaming, you're just watching a stream, and there's not that many people, honestly, that I follow on Twitch compared to something like Twitter. So if, a couple big names go over to a different streaming platform, like, yeah, I'll watch you on a different platform. It's not a big deal to me. Yeah, they might not have as many features as Twitch has, but at the end of the day, when it comes to streams, I just pull up a stream. I don't really care a whole lot about all those extra features.
Yeah, for sure. The only thing that like makes me think this might be different is like Instagram already has a bigger user base than Twitter does. So it's like already a bigger platform. So like with Threads being like one click away from the Instagram app and it just opens the Thread app, like I think you might see a lot of people. The question is like, will they actually use it? But you're going to see a lot of people make Threads accounts that use Instagram that don't use Twitter. But will they actually care to use Threads, which they might not, since they didn't care to use Twitter in the first place. So that my only thing is there might be like a different user base there if it's more directly tied into Instagram, whereas like Twitter is kind of its own thing,
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts on Threads, Elijah, Luke?
I just know that Threads exist. I haven't even looked into it.
All right,
I
perfect.
think Twitter's a great platform for starting fights and stuff, but
That's what it's best for. It's for arguing with people for no fucking
starting
reason, man.
controversies.
Who doesn't like that?
Yeah, I mean, get into all sorts of fights. Luke's a master.
But Twitter, yeah, that too. But Twitter has lots of it's funny from the checkmark thing, because
Yeah.
like you used to click on a viral post and like read the top comments, and they'd be like funny as fuck,
Mhm.
right? But now it's like some dumb fucking crypto mine bro.
No,
with
it's all fucking
Twitter verified.
OnlyFans.
Oh,
Every
OnlyFans,
time I
yeah.
click on a
Saying the
fucking
OnlyFans.
thread and I go to read the funny comments, it's just like I'm whatever. I'm the thickest on this app, and I'm like,
Yeah, like sometimes you click on a YouTube video, you look at the fucking top comment, right? See if it's funny. Read some comments, they're funny,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It was
yeah.
the same on Twitter, but now it's not possible
No.
anymore because fucking
yeah, the
Wait,
blue
they
stuff
started
being
now.
pushed to the top kind of does ruin like Twitter comments for sure. Because even like you can do that same shit on like
that.
TikTok now, where like you watch a TikTok and you go read the comments, and like the top few are like pretty funny usually, but yeah, on Twitter the top comment every time is a crypto bro or an OnlyFans girl, and you're like sick. Great, great value here. But all right, next thing. Here, let me share this on the screen. You guys can see it. So, COD Mobile or someone, I don't know who. I think this came from the FTC. Yeah, this came from the
I think
FTC
Bobby
hearings.
Kotick said this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the percentage of COD players based on platform. And so mobile being the biggest didn't surprise me. But what did surprise me was PC actually being the second biggest by like a pretty decent margin. And then obviously Xbox in last didn't surprise me at all. But yeah, I don't know if you guys saw this, but like if you did what would you kind of think about this?
I don't know.
PC
The
Master Race.
PC thing does surprise me, but you said you weren't surprised by mobile. I guess I just like, who are these people that are playing COD on mobile? I've never
It's-
met one. I've
Dude,
never
imagine,
met one.
dude, imagine 11.
Kids,
Dude, when I was
I'd
11
rather
year old,
just scroll Twitter on my phone than play a game on my phone. Especially
yeah, but
something
like when I was
COD.
11, dude,
Like, who
fucking
the hell?
the shit we used to put up with gaming wise, dude. Fucking, I don't know, 12 FPS games on my PlayStation 2, dude. I didn't care, dude. It was GTA.
I'd still play that over a mobile game today. Like,
Sure,
But the kids don't grow up with a
Mobile.
PlayStation 2.
You
The
play
kids grow up
Call of
with
Duty
the
in class now.
Everybody has like
I know, but I said,
console.
like, I'd rather just, watch YouTube or something than play a mobile game, especially
I
something
do,
like COD.
dude. I
but-
do both usually. But,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't
That's just
know.
me,
I
I
mean,
guess.
mobile
There's all the Switch players.
mobile
Huh?
games aren't really my thing,
Oh.
but like mobile gaming in general is obviously a huge market, especially like in
It is.
not, I mean, obviously like younger people it's huge, but it's also just big in other like countries too, where having a console or like a home PC isn't as much of a thing, but you can have a phone, right? Everyone has a phone, so like if your phone can also play Call of Duty, like hell yeah, like you'll if the choice is play games on your phone or play no games, like you'll probably just play games on your phone if you want to play games, right? It's like way more accessible because everyone has smartphones these days, so it makes sense to me why mobile would be so big. And COD Mobile, I don't know, I haven't played it like since it dropped, but it was actually pretty decent. Like arguably support wise is better than the fucking PC version. So
You can play with controller too.
yeah, you can play the controller, and like they add like all sorts of fun stuff. They like, I don't know, it makes sense. But yeah, for me, I always thought that when it came to like these big AAA cross-platform games, that PC was the smallest. I thought it went PlayStation, Xbox, PC, because that's what, like, I feel like I've heard that before. So when this came out, this like honestly kind of blew my mind to see like not only is PC actually the biggest market, it's like a fair bit bigger than PlayStation. And sure this is just about Call of Duty, but like I would have to imagine this is probably like somewhat relevant to a lot of other cross-platform games. So I don't know, it surprised me.
Why else do you think Sony fucking started putting their shit on PlayStation, on PC and not on Xbox?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I guess. Yeah.
I feel like PC and mobile. I mean, I feel like consoles in general are less popular in like some countries than like a PC or mobile games are.
Yeah, I mean, there's countries where the internet cafe, you don't buy your own controller. You just go to the internet or computer.
I'd be curious to see it. Like, I'd love to see this chart. Like, if it was just like North America, also like just to compare the difference of like what it would span out to be. You know what I mean? I think it'd be interesting to know that information.
Yeah, but also a computer that can run Call of Duty, is cheaper. Like, you know what I mean? You can pick up like a fucking $400 Facebook Marketplace computer, probably run it.
Right.
Just not at very.
I was gonna say, you think that's running the modern COD?
Right, but like, you don't think there's some kids that have like some fucking garbage
yeah.
ass computer still playing Call of Duty because it's Call of Duty?
In college, I used to play League of Legends on like 20 FPS, and I probably played that for hundreds of hours because it was all I had. So I guess you pushed through.
That's a lot different than playing COD on 20 FPS though.
I'd say it's worse. Actually,
when you
need better reaction time in League.
When you were in those team fights and your shit became a slideshow, it was horrible.
I'm not saying it's good, but if I'm playing I'd rather do that than be playing on a slideshow in COD.
Yeah,
there is a reason why the most famous esports player in the world is a League player, or you know what I mean?
That's just because fucking League is the biggest game in the biggest esports market.
Yeah, but because like it takes skilled players to play it, you know what I mean? It doesn't take some fucking guy that played COD at some LAN after he fucking, I don't know, daylighted as a plumber. You know what I mean? Like, fuck.
Yeah, I mean, true. I guess, what are you gonna say? All right. Well, did you guys see? So I saw there was some news about Valve. Basically, like, I don't understand all the details, but they're like basically blocking AI generated assets on Steam when you like put out a game unless you can prove that you own all of the rights to it or something. Which I thought was pretty interesting because I think this is actually a good thing because I feel like if this didn't happen, the new asset flip was just going to be AI generated junk that was just going to like flood the Steam marketplace. So I feel like it's good to see Valve get a little bit ahead of it to maybe block some of that jank.
Right.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
And I mean, like, there's, very garbage games now too. Like, it would have just fed into that. Yeah. All the asset flips, and there's another fucking. There's like, I don't know. Steam has been cracking down on other games too. You know, I mean, they've been like deleting the asset flip games sometimes, and the fucking like NFT shit, they block that too immediately.
So, when it says AI generated content, like, is that anything AI generated in the game?
Probably, yeah.
Like,
I think you have to like, be able to...
you can definitely leverage AI in useful ways.
Yeah.
Right, and how would I prove dialogue?
I feel like you're taking a tool away from, the developer at that point.
You just have to own the rights to the things you use AI to create. It's basically my understanding of it. So you can use AI to create it, but you just have to be able to prove that you own the rights for whatever it created, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah. So, I don't know. All right, well, that's that topic. Did you guys see that Daedalic no longer is making video games? So the dudes who made Gollum They're quitting game development. It's real bummer to the world of gaming.
Oh no, what are they gonna do now?
The company, like, the original founder left in 2020, and after that they did all this shit, and now we have this. You know what I mean? So
Well,
I think it's just falling apart after the founder left.
rest in peace.
Rest, dude. I was really hoping for Gollum too, dude. The game was just so good. I mean,
I thought they're gonna do a trilogy.
think of the improvement they could have had with the second game, dude. It might have been the next Tears of the Kingdom. You never know.
It was almost there. They just needed another try. Yeah.
They should have given it one more year like Halo got.
Yeah, that's what they keep saying about Halo.
Holy shit. True. All right. I saw that Battlebit has sold nearly 2 million copies. Battlebit is amazing, and I figured we could have a weekly section where we talk about how cool Battlebit is. So good job to the.
I didn't even know it was a game. I thought it was Roblox until Luke told me it wasn't.
Oh
Roblox.
my god, Elijah, do you like old school Battlefield games?
Not really.
All right, well maybe it's not for you then. But
I've never played a Battlefield game that I'm like, this is amazing. I always get bored after like the first game or two.
all right,
I see
fair.
why people like it. I just can't get into it.
Yeah, that's fair. But Battlebit's cool. I like it. I actually haven't played it in like a week or so, but no, it's sweet. Dude, it's crazy because 3 people made this, and obviously different markets probably had different pricing. But if you just like assume that every person paid $15, these guys made like $30 million off of the shit, which is fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
So,
Do you think that game does as good as it did if it didn't look like this? Like if it looked like Battlefield, had good graphics like Battlefield, do you think it would be this successful?
I don't think it would run on toasters, so no. Because this runs on like
Okay.
a fucking smart fridge, you know what I mean? Like anyone could
True.
play this. Whereas if you put out, because the first thing that comes to my mind when you say that is I think of all the big stuff like Squad and World War III and like those games that have like really nice graphics and they're like these large scale multiplayer shooters and they all run like dog shit. Or
But
at
can't
least
you make them pretty playable if you lower all the settings?
yeah, but I don't think it's going to be as playable as this, but I don't know. They always
Might be
just
close.
maybe.
I mean, you can make those games look pretty bad if
I
you
s-
lower everything.
I saw a video someone sent me of someone playing Warzone 2 on like an integrated graphics card, and
Yeah.
it was like at locked 30 FPS, but it was like the blurriest thing I'd ever seen. But like it ran, it ran at 30 FPS, and it was running
I
off
mean,
like some fucking integrated laptop graphics card.
Dude, Warzone 2 has a blurry look to it even on max settings.
That's true, but no, this looked bad.
Oh,
This looked like
so
bad.
that
bad.
doesn't surprise me.
But yeah, because I was basically talking about how I was surprised like that many people played it on PC, and they're like, well, I mean, like you can play it on like shitty PCs. I was like, yeah, but like,
And speaking of Warzone
who
2,
would
that
want
was like
to?
your 4th most played game on Steam?
Yeah, it is.
That one shocked me. How? How is Warzone 2 that high for you? I don't understand.
I played a lot of it when it came out, dude. I was grinding.
You
When I
can come play Rainbow Six with us.
And I got bored. Well, you have to think a lot of my most played PC games aren't on Steam. Like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Hearthstone. Like all of those games are games that aren't on Steam, so it's never been tracked, you know? But I played a good amount. I played a lot of Warzone 2, and then I played a decent amount of DMZ. We went through our little stint of playing COD Ranked when it dropped. Like I felt like I got my hours out of Modern Warfare 2. Even though it's not my favorite COD by any means, but
Dude, I just remember tuning into your COD Ranked stream when it dropped, and you were so fucking depressed. I actually never tried fucking COD Ranked because of that. I don't think I ever touched the game.
That's horrible.
I don't think I ever
That
touched the
was a
game
horrible
after that. I
experience.
just saw Raj
Good.
broken. A broken
Actually,
man.
I talked to Luke later. I was like, "Oh, Luke, I think Ranked came out on Call of Duty," and he's like, "No, we don't need to play it." I watched a Rosh play it, and it broke him. And I was like, "Okay," and we just never actually got on and played it.
For me.
Yeah.
it was
That's
bad.
just horrible.
Like I don't even know how to explain why it was. It was like not only is COD just like a weird game to play ranked in, I was like ranked in silver, constantly just getting my shit pushed in by like teams full of plat kids. But the game just didn't give a fuck. It just kept matching us against them because it just assumed that was the rank that like our hidden MMR was at or some shit. I don't know. It was rough,
Yeah,
but
I hate COD ranked for so many reasons. I could talk about it for an hour. It's fucking horrible.
Elijah, this is a good topic. It's better than all our list of topics. All right, Elijah, what are your top 5 most played games on Steam?
I have no idea. Rainbow Six?
No, just pull it
How
up
do I
and
check
tell
it?
me. Yeah, just go to your Steam profile. So hit
How do I get
view
to-
my profile, and then go
I'm
to
on a Mac right now. Like,
and then go to just open Steam. You'll get there, and then go to games. So
Alright, do you want me to tell him?
yeah. Well, someone else
Can
can
you
go
pull
first,
up?
but
Can you pull mine up?
yeah, if you can pull
yeah,
up his
yeah.
profile.
Oh wait, I can link you.
Yeah,
I
you
got a
just link it to
Steam
me.
Deck. It's coming in the mail.
Yeah. So my
Like tomorrow, I
top
think.
5 while you send me Elijah's are CS:GO, MCC, Infinite, MW2, and then Rocket League. So
I have no idea what my top 10. I'm gonna guess Rainbow Six, PUBG. I really don't want it to be Counter Strike, but I feel like Counter Strike's gonna be in there.
all right, here we go, baby. We got
don't even
MCC
know.
3. You've played 3,000 hours of MCC, Elijah. What the fuck?
Dude, I speed ran ODST like a lot.
Holy shit!
And I
All
just
right.
would leave the game on for weeks at a time.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. And then Siege, PUBG. You have 500 hours in PUBG.
Dude, I played PUBG when it came out. It was like my
That's
first battle royale.
fair. CS:GO, and then you actually played a lot of like the old CODs, like
Okay,
OG
and then CS:GO,
MW2.
real quick, I've only played one competitive game of CS:GO
What the
one
fuck?
time.
What'd you
I have
play?
126 hours of surfing.
What the fuck?
All
What
I
is,
did was just...
what is Death
was
Road
just
to Canada? You've played that for 25 hours.
Oh, dude, that's a fun game. It's like Oregon Trail but with zombies, and you run around and try not to die.
All right, that's fair. I like how this game is blurred out for some reason on the website, but yeah. Oh, okay. I clicked on it. Oh, it might be because it's rated M or some shit. All right, Luke, what were your top
Yeah.
5?
I sent you a screenshot.
Oh shit! All right, let me go. Here we go. Here's Luke's. Luke's CS:GO, MCC, Siege, Destiny 2, Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, this makes sense. You've played a lot of Source. Got some wallpaper engine grinding.
You gotta fucking sort all those,
Is there a way I can
hentai
check my
wallpapers.
Xbox games?
What's up?
Is there a way I can check my Xbox
I don't
games?
think there is, unfortunately.
I know
Yeah,
I
not
can
by most
check
played.
individually how long I've spent, but I don't know if it shows me.
Yeah.
Like if I pull up a game first, it'll tell me. But
Oh yeah, that I'm not too sure of. PopQ, what were your top 5?
It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how Infinite is number 2. I mean, did I just sit at the menu one day? Like, I don't know.
That's rough.
MCC's number 1, Infinite's number 2, and then it's Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Apex, and then PUBG,
Yeah,
and then Counter Strike.
that checks out.
Let me
Except
see.
I'm surprised you played that much Infinite, to be honest.
Yeah, 300 hours of Infinite. I don't understand that. That's fake.
That's fake. That was
There's
actually
no
you
way.
fighting the theater mode to try and make a video.
Maybe.
Yeah. All
let me
right.
see if I can.
Oh, on the wallpaper engine, the next one is Halo Infinite.
Oh,
I have 111 hours.
Yeah, dude.
And then after that, it's Cyberpunk. I have 95 hours.
That's fair. I didn't realize that game was that long. But have you played it multiple times?
Yeah, and then with mods and stuff, messed around.
Oh
and shit.
yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, there's lots you can do.
Okay,
PHB really thought that
on
Halo was
Halo-
back.
on Halo MCC Xbox, I have 212 days. I don't know
Holy
what that translates
Fuck,
to.
Elijah. You're
That's a lot.
you're an MCC grinder, dude.
I
think
don't even play multiplayer.
you're
Just
the-
campaign, probably.
You're the biggest Halo fan here.
200, what's 212 days?
5,000.
5,000 hours?
Yeah.
What the hell? I'd
So-
probably just left my Xbox on today. I don't turn my consoles off.
Yeah, that's like 10k hours total of MCC between PC and Xbox.
Yeah, I don't think I've played that much.
10K. What?
Yeah, I think. I mean, I
These
definitely,
numbers are a lie.
I definitely leave my Xbox on.
All
I was gonna
right.
try to find Infinite, but I can't find it.
No, it's better that way.
Look up Fortnite.
I know I have a ton on Rainbow Six on Xbox, more than I have on PC. But
Yeah.
where's
All
Halo
right.
Infinite?
Well,
Do I-
while you look
Oh,
for
here.
that, I'll pull this up. So I saw a news post that Overwatch 2 won't be getting any more PvE missions until 2024. The Overwatch
wow.
Oh.
Overwatch stays winning. That's all I gotta say, dude. They're grinding, dude. I don't understand Overwatch. So did they put out some story missions, and these are like more, or are these just the ones that they teased in the Xbox showcase that aren't coming until next year?
I don't know.
I thought they canceled the PvE content.
Yeah, but they're recycling like the missions. You'll be just
Yeah,
on the multiplayer map
They
fighting some like robot or something.
they canceled like a full scale campaign, and instead it's gonna be like those old like event type things where you just like fight some AI on a multiplayer map type deal.
Nice.
But
I have 10 days on Infinite compared to your 30 days, it says on Infinite.
my 30 days.
Yeah, on Xbox it says you have 30 days on Infinite.
Oh, okay. That's so it must count obviously like Steam time. That's cool. I guess
Yeah, I
it makes
don't know what
sense
it
because it
counts for.
launches it.
30 days.
Yeah, it says he's played 30 days on
Wait,
Infinite
hold
on
on.
my
That
Xbox.
seems like a lot. What's 30 times
That is a
24?
lot.
No, that's all right. I mean, my Steam profile says I've played like 700 or 800 hours, so that checks out.
Wait, so yeah, then your 5,000 IRs on Xbox on MCC are probably your Steam number.
Oh, they probably are, Elijah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
The combination of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I did speedrun on both.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, let me look at my Rainbow Six.
All right, did you guys
I have
play?
55 days on Rainbow Six.
Oof. That's good. Solid.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
I know I have a lot on Sea of Thieves also.
Yeah.
I might have more on Sea of Thieves than anything else.
I've never tried Sea of Thieves. I own it on Steam. I've just never tried it.
Dude, we should play.
I
I have
could
36,
install it.
36 days on it.
That's a solid amount. All right, here's the last topic, just because I thought it was cool. It's not even really like a meaningful topic, but so I was pulling up some player numbers for our favorite video game the other day, and have you guys seen those new like point shit that you get on Xbox now when you like launch a game and stuff? I'm sure you've seen it pop up, and it's like claim your points or whatever. So
Oh yeah, like the rewards.
yeah. So they started doing weekly quests, and I don't know exactly when they started doing that, but basically they'll have like play this game, do this, like play this game mode in this game, right? And so last week, one of the weekly quests was to play Gears of War Ultimate Edition, and I just thought it was interesting because it took it from not even being on the most played chart to like 28th, just because people were launching it up to finish their weekly quest.
Wow.
I see that. I mean, the quest thing's been in for years,
Oh,
and
okay.
I don't even go after them, but I redeem the points when they pop up, and I've gotten like probably like $100 in gift cards for the Xbox store over the years.
That's not bad. I just thought it was like
Like, I mean,
kind
I
of
redeem like $5 or $10 here and there.
yeah. I guess I've never paid attention, but like that seems like a cool way to revive a dead multiplayer game for like a week or two if you like paid attention to when the quests
should
were
do it.
happening.
They should do Infinite next.
Right?
They should, just to boost it up so that the Halo stands can claim that it was like number 5 on the fucking chart for 1 week.
Where's Halo Infinite on this list? Is it higher?
Yeah, on this list it's 14, but if you go to the actual website, it's like 20 something. But this is like some website that only pulls it off of like people who've registered on their site, I think. Shit, like it doesn't pull every Xbox account.
Right.
Kevin said nice hit of copium directly to the forehead. But all right.
So like this stat is worthless. Like this list basically, right?
Yeah, probably.
Because it's like achievement sweats.
Yeah,
Like
something
they're
like
not the general public.
that. Probably, yeah. They'd be the type of people to do their weekly quest.
They would be, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand how people are like, you can't use Steam charts to gauge how Halo Infinite's doing, because like even if there's a substantially more people on Xbox playing Halo Infinite than on Steam, like you would think that to an extent the drop off would be like there'd be like a like a similar drop off, right? Like let's say like Xbox always has had more players. Like if Steam went from 200 and whatever it was 40,000 down to like 4,000, you'd think Xbox, even if they had 400,000, would still see a big drop down to like 8,000. You know what I mean? Like still a massive drop, right?
Am
I wrong on that?
There was some article that only like 2% of Infinite players remain from the launch, so I don't know.
But there was just that article just cited Steam charts and not
Oh, did it?
the
Okay.
Xbox.
Well,
But like
yeah.
that's what I would think though. I would think like it would be scale across the board, or even if Xbox was a little bit more, you'd still see a substantial drop on Xbox. I don't think there's like a secret community of Xbox players that nobody knows about. Like
No, I agree,
Yeah.
man. I think while the number might be different, the percentile drop probably has some correlation. You could make the argument that maybe it would be like a slightly bigger percentage on PC, but yeah, the people who are still coping that there's some big Xbox player base are just fucking stupid, and I'm just tired of it. Like,
And regardless of the player base on Xbox, like the Steam numbers are still bad. Like, so I don't know. I don't care about the Xbox numbers. The numbers on Steam alone are just really, really bad for a game like Halo, a new Halo game.
Yeah. Jared made an interesting point. He said, so if Xbox includes your playtime from Steam on Xbox like it did for the games you were pulling up, he's wondering if they correlate it into their Xbox most played thing. So, yeah, which would be even funnier, which would mean the Xbox plus PC players of Steam only have it at like 20 fucking something.
Right.
So it's possible. It's possible. All right. Let's do the Q&A section. There wasn't very many questions. So if you want to submit questions in the future, I put out a tweet day of on the podcast account basically saying what the topics are and then asking for questions. So if you want to submit questions in the future, watch out for that tweet. First question, Elijah, was just for you. They asked what your favorite game franchise is.
Favorite game franchise? That's a hard question. I don't know.
Remember, Master Chief is standing behind you, so answer carefully.
We
I don't think
about your
Halo's my
MCC
favorite.
hours earlier.
I don't think Halo's ever been my favorite. I mean, I don't know. I really like Animal Crossing. I mean, it's probably Animal Crossing, Pokemon, Halo, or I don't know. Those are the first three that come to mind.
All right, fair enough. I lost the Twitter thread. Hold on.
What about you guys? Do you guys have any favorites?
I mean, I did.
Star Wars?
I think sadly, if I was to pick my favorite franchise, it probably still is Halo, but like, I don't want it to be, so maybe Counter-Strike. just out of spite for fucking the recent Halo games. But like, if I based it off like memories playing games, I mean, just Halo 3 alone is probably like my favorite game of all time, so probably would make it, by like that logic, my favorite franchise of all time, you know what I mean? Because like Halo 2 was cool, Halo 3 was cool, Reach was cool, and even like,
I mean, are we talking overall franchise? Because like, or are we just talking about like favorite games, right? Because like, if it's overall franchise, like I can't have Halo as my favorite when like the last 10 years of the franchise has just been so bad.
Yeah, that's true too. For me, I would kind of rate it off like the peak, but it would be how you want to rate it. So yeah, like if you look at something as a whole, you're right. The past 10 years have been pretty mid, so it does make it hard.
Yo, thinking about it, the franchise I've always played throughout my life, from like fucking 5 years old till like now, would be like Pokemon, GTA. That's it, probably.
Yeah, GTA would be a solid choice. There's never been a GTA game I didn't enjoy. I've played all of them since GTA 3. So I just don't play them as like actively, right? Because I just.
But when I played the campaign when GTA 5 came out, and the multiplayer. Then years later, again the multiplayer with all the heists, right?
Mhm.
And then I did when the role playing stuff popped off. I also did that for a while. So like I don't know. I feel like GTA always. I always play GTA. Every couple like years or months.
Yeah.
I guess
think I'd put Halo, and then I think probably Metal Gear Solid as top
That's a good
2. I mean, I've played a lot of COD. I do like the good CODs, but I don't know. Maybe that would be number 3.
I've never played a bad. So I've played a bad Halo. I've played a bad Pokemon game, but I don't think I've ever played a bad Animal Crossing game. So, like, if I had to pick one, I think, even though like there's more I wish they do with the franchise, I think I've just every time a new one's come out, I've gotten really into it. So
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
that's.
I guess that's how I
nice.
feel about GTA then, because like that also never had a
Yeah.
bad one.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with GTA in that realm, but also like the Doom. I've never played a bad Doom game. Like I don't play them every day.
I did like
but
Doom 3. There's a lot of people who don't like Doom 3.
I've actually never played Doom, but I played Doom 1 and 2 and I liked them, and then 2016 and Eternal are like some of my favorite modern FPS campaigns.
Can you fairly judge it though if you've never?
If
You
I
know,
if I
played the
skipped
low?
a game if I
Yeah, if you
skipped
skip the low.
you're
yeah.
right. That's true. That's a fair point.
I didn't consider the low, but I know a lot of people in general.
I should
Doom
play
coming.
Doom 3 just out of curiosity. I just like never get
Yeah, it's in
around
the
to it.
BFG edition. I'm pretty sure it's on Game Pass. You can just,
Yeah,
you
you
know.
can just play it. But Jared says Doom 3 is good in chat. All right, next question. This one's actually from Evolved, who's in chat. So, what is most important for a Halo game to have at launch? And I think I know what each of you will answer. So I'll see if I was right afterwards. All right. So is it more important to have mission replay or a Team Slayer playlist?
I think it's more embarrassing not to have mission replay. I think
Yeah, I
that's
think I
more
agree with
embarrassing
that.
not to have that at launch. Now, what I would want, I'd rather there be a Team Slayer playlist.
yeah, I don't know. I'm like, how do they not have either of those?
I think the mission replay, if the campaign is good, you can look over it. But the Team Slayer just hurts the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So like I think that one is worse.
Yeah.
I think the
Team
mission
Slayer.
replay is more
Select.
embarrassing for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think the mission replay is embarrassing. The only thing that like makes me kind of look over that is you do have to think that while Halo games have always had mission replay because they're different.
But it's a UI feature. I mean, not really, but like
But
in the other games, it was just
Yeah.
like
But
you
my
know.
point was gonna be like when you think of like GTA or like an Assassin's Creed or like a Far Cry. I mean, there isn't like mission replay in those games, right? So you can't just like select like big smoke mission and just fucking
Yeah.
launch up San
But there
Andreas.
is in Halo.
No, I know.
Yeah.
So Halo, it was like extra set, like it was like a different level because they'd had it for years and they cut it, right? So it's like different. But for me, I would say it's more important to have a Team Slayer playlist. Like I think the campaign, while we like people would have liked the mission select at launch, and it's nice for speed running or for like getting collectibles. The lack of a mission replay system or like feature didn't even affect me. I played the campaign once and I had no intentions to go back anyways. But
Here,
like the lack of a good Team Slayer playlist, I mean, it still isn't one. So
dude, imagine COD. Dude, if COD never launched with a fucking Team Deathmatch playlist, dude, it would be a fucking franchise.
yeah,
you
for
know.
sure. Oh, I guess I was wrong. Perry says GTA has mission replay. Do the new ones? The
There's no reason there shouldn't like a Halo game shouldn't release unless it has both.
Yeah.
Like, to-
No, I
have to
agree. We
I
just
mean,
had to
yeah,
pick
it's not
one.
asking a whole lot to have mission replay and
Yeah.
a Team Slayer playlist.
I still don't understand why there wasn't mission replay. I mean, why is there not a lot of things in Halo Infinite? But
I guess
I mean,
I find
if
Team Slayer not having Team Slayer very baffling though.
they can do the argument that it's like, oh well, it's an open world approach, right? Non-linear or something like that when you wanted your weapons to carry over. But I'm like, they already did that with ODST, right? Like, well, ODST
True.
wasn't full open world, right? Like there was
Mhm.
like
Same
a
concept.
middle area, and you could go into the levels from the main area and then go back into the main area. And
Yeah.
they figured it out with that and how to
Right.
do the UI. So I don't know why, like Infinite was like this impossible task.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right. M7 Reaper asked, how big of an issue do you believe SBMM plays into how terrible of an experience social games are? So basically, just what's your opinions on SBMM these days?
I don't care.
I mean,
I don't know.
SBMM, it's hard to know in some games if the matches that I get in and the team balancing is actually because of SBMM or is it just some other factor. I don't know, but there's been plenty of games in MCC social games where there will be one person on each team that get like 30 kills, and then the rest of your teammates on both teams are just bots, and it's just a really awful experience. You're basically playing a 1v1 with like AI on your team. It's really horrible. Like, it's not good. If that is the fault of SBMM, and
I think that's.
I mean, it happens a lot, then that is pretty terrible.
I think that's team balancing, which is like a different mechanic.
Well, that's like part of it. That is part of it.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I think sometimes SBMM is annoying, but I also think it's kind of overblown. Like,
I think some people complain about it who are just bad, right, at the game. Like, I mean, you have, both sides of it.
Yeah. We'll see how X Defiant turns out with no SBMM and if it's like the savior of social gameplay. But Battlebit doesn't really have SBMM, and I will say, like, that game you can casually play that, so maybe there is some merit to it. You can just hop on.
I'd be curious to see, like, I know a lot of people complain that Call of Duty has skill-based matchmaking. Like, that's a big complaint with new Call of Duties when they come out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm pretty sure I remember back in the day, like, even as early as, like, Black Ops 1 and maybe Modern Warfare 2, there was some level of skill-based matchmaking, maybe based on what rank you were, what prestige you were. So there was always something working in the background. I just don't know, like, when, like, the switch got turned that made it feel much worse than.
And I hear that Halo 3 used to have like a skill-based matchmaking in social, and
Right.
Even if that is true, it seems to be worse now. Like,
Right.
playing social in Halo 3, like, I had no problem. Like, there were games where you'd play against a team of sweats. There was games where you would play against a team of bad players. Like, it was just there was a variety of it. But in games now, it's like it tries to pin you up against other sweaty players, or it seems like it tries to match you based off of MMR more than it used to with some older games. But so I think people are justified in hating on skill-based matchmaking like they do. But again, like I said, there's some people who are just bad at the game and they blame skill-based matchmaking, but they're just bad. So
Let's make our own game that does play session-based matchmaking, and it takes however long you've been playing that session into consideration. So, like, if you're getting on for your first game, it puts you against everyone else who just got on. And then, like, if you're, like, 4 hours into your play session, you're against only other people who've been playing for 4 hours. And just, like, see what happens.
You're 12 hours deep, and you're just against nothing but fucking mega sweats cracked out on fucking
It gets
G
worse
Fuel.
the longer you play.
That'd be great. I'm sure that'd be great for player retention.
I don't know, but then think about it. Like, the first time you get on, you're just playing against, like, just a free-for-all, whoever's just, like, turning the game on for the first time.
Yeah. It'd be funny, that's for sure. All right, last question.
Yeah, I have no idea if it would work.
Yeah,
I just think it'd be funny.
Last question from Mr. Pink Knight. He said, what's your least favorite Call of Duty map?
Ever?
Call of Duty map.
He just said COD map, so yeah, just pick ever.
How the hell am I supposed to pick that?
So,
I don't even know every COD map.
So yeah, I will say I'm gonna be a little biased here because there was probably some dog shit COD maps in the old CODs that I just literally don't remember. So we're gonna go, for me, modern COD games. My least favorite COD map. There's two of them: the fucking Highway in MW2 and Piccadilly in MW19. Those are my two least favorite maps. Fuck both
Yeah,
those
I heard
maps.
people
They
hate
suck.
Piccadilly, yeah.
Piccadilly's fucking
Yeah.
terrible.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go the car map. Yeah, fuck that car map.
I don't even know
What
the
the hell
name.
were they thinking? Let's just do something different, even if it's garbage. Fuck that map. Map's awful. Awful. Garbage fucking map design. God, I hate it. Pisses me off. It's like they intentionally try to make bad maps, man. They're intentionally trying to make garbage maps. No, how could somebody make a fucking map like that and think it was good with like 1,000 exploding cars? Holy fuck.
Yeah, my favorite is
got
I'm
me
just
angry.
trying to like
It's
move
so
around on
bad.
that map and a car just
I
explodes and
think-
kills you. You're like, sick,
I
thanks.
think the worst map is that one Modern Warfare 2019 map that was so bad they had to take it out of matchmaking.
Which one was that?
I don't remember what it was called. It's like they had like a bridge.
Oh
and,
my
like,
god!
It was
in
so
the
one-sided they had to
beta.
take it out.
Holy fuck!
Yeah.
I remember that map. Yeah, that map was
It was in
also
the beta.
dog shit.
I played
Fuck,
it.
I don't remember the name
The
though.
game,
but-
that map was so bad they had to remove it from matchmaking. It was in matchmaking they won too. I don't think it was just in the beta.
It was called Euphrates Bridge, right? I'm
Yeah.
mispronouncing
Sounds right, I
it,
guess.
but yeah, Euphrates Bridge or whatever. Yeah, that map sucked. that map was also terrible.
So
Elijah?
in Modern Warfare 2, I hate that like hotel map.
Oh yeah, yep.
Like
I forget what
the-
it's called, but yeah.
You go inside and whatever. I forgot what it's called. But the worst one was a remake of a World at War map in Black Ops 3. It was the remake of the World at War map Outskirts. Let me see what it's called in Black Ops 3. They like had it as DLC.
Outskirts. I don't even remember that from World.
Do you remember World at War? It was like the one that had the church. It was like in Germany.
Oh, yeah, I
and, like,
remember
you
it.
go up the tower and stuff.
I remember now. Yep.
Yeah, so they made a map called Rupture in Black Ops 3. And they have like mantises from like Halo in it instead of the tanks.
Nice.
And like it's just like the most pointless remake ever. Like why take like a classic World at War location and like say you're bringing it back to make it like some future outer space planet colony with, you know what I mean? Like it's just like nothing. It's unrecognizable from what it is like from World at War. And then also like it doesn't play the same way. Like just there's no point of doing a remake. It could just I don't know. It's just weird that they advertised it that way.
Here's the mantis, dude. Look at it. Look at it in action.
Yeah.
Oh, Titanfall.
Yeah, like literally, like this is the remake of like a classic World at War map. Like, I don't know, just. It was
They
dumb.
definitely fumbled it with that one, dude.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I think that wraps up the podcast. Elijah, appreciate you coming on. It was fun talking
Yeah,
about
thanks for having me on. It's
fun
fun.
talking about YouTube stuff. It was a good podcast. Before we go, usually do a little round table, tell people what you're up to, where they can find you or whatever the heck you're doing these days. So Elijah, you're the guest. You can go first.
Cool. You can follow us or subscribe to us on YouTube at Rocket Sloth, or if you like Animal Crossing content, you can subscribe to Rocket Elijah. That's about it for me. But yeah, thanks for having me on. This is fun.
Pop Q, what are you up to?
Nothing. No, I recently had to deal with a bunch of PC issues, but I've resolved them, so we're gonna get back on, the content grind on YouTube and streaming and stuff. I still plan to play through all the marathon games, but yeah, that got pushed back a little because of the PC issues I had to deal with. But we're good now.
Fair. Luke?
I mean, basically everything Elijah said.
Yeah.
And you can also find me on Threads at Rocket Sloth.
Dang, you did that.
Perfect. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously, I stream here sometimes. We're still trying to hit Onyx, and we'll see if that happens. I've got not motivation, but I have the thought where I kind of want to go to HCS Fort Worth and play, and I probably should do something else better with my time, but I might do that.
You play Persona 5.
Yeah, other than that, I should have coming up this next week. I've been working on a big video about the extraction shooter genre, so it'll be a longer one, so hopefully it'll be on my main channel. Hopefully it'll be out like early next week, so watch that video if you wish. Other than that, podcast clips and stuff on the podcast channel. Sometimes I shit out gameplay videos on my live channel, but I've actually been doing that a lot less because I just haven't really cared as much. But I did actually play Rogue Company last night. I was really
I played
bored.
that.
I just launched up Rogue Company and made a video. And honestly, I met this kid, and granted, he said some gamer slurs that I had to cut out of the video. But besides the slurs, he was a real nice lad. Okay, he's very energetic. When he was calling the enemy slurs when they killed him, and he was really into his game of Rogue Company. So I was glad I met him. That's all I gotta say. But I think with that, we'll close out the podcast. The full podcast VOD should be on the YouTube channel by tomorrow morning. Also on podcast platforms. Besides that, you can follow the podcast on Threads. Hell yeah! But all right, I think with that, thanks for watching, everyone. See you guys all next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Later.